Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakbadash, and I want to say Shalom to Yak and Makwath out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And the working title for this one is, I don't know if it's going to be the one that actually makes it into the video, and makes the cut, but the working title is The Incest Twins Are Upset. Right? The incest twins are upset. And for those that don't know, some of you already know, can, deduce what's being said in the title there. That's, of course, referring to the so-called Asians, all right, who are known now, not now, whom were known before, covering cast now, as the Moabites and the Ammonites, all right? And that's who we know them as the Moabites, as the Ammonites. Of course, nowadays they're called Asians or Chinese or Japanese or whatever, just like we're called a whole bunch of names as well, right? Everybody's got all these different names on them that don't really mean anything at the end of the day, because we all have biblical identities, but those aren't the ones being used. It's all the covering casts. But that's who they are. They're the Moabites and the Ammonites. And to quote the elder Menatazatba and his most recent live stream, he says, "If you don't believe it or not, it doesn't get." I think he said, "I don't give a shit if you don't believe it or not. It's true, right?" And that's who it is. The so-called Chinese, they are the Moabites, and the so-called Japanese, they are the Ammonites. And can't forget the Koreans in them as well. They're also Moabites as well. And I'm sure there's a bit of mix and match over there as well. I'm pretty sure there's people in the land of Japan, all right, as they call it now today, that are Moabites and vice versa, right? I mean, everyone's spread everywhere, but since those areas are so close together, I'm sure there's a lot of intermingling, if you know what I mean. Since they're right off each other's areas. Let me grab a drink of water here, but excuse me, there's been a lot of talk, all right, about the so-called Asian people with the whole boycott situation that's going on. Now, if you're not familiar with the whole boycott situation, and boycotts really don't do anything at the end of the day, but it's fine. Whatever, if Jake wants to do it, that's fine. Because those people have always had an animosity towards our people anyway, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today anyway. But they're talking about a individual that was killed by the name of Cyrus Carmack Belton, and it was a situation that happened, and just 5 days ago, the guy that actually shot him, Chow, was found not guilty. Okay, now this guy, let me move this. Now this guy, Chow, he had been seen laughing, all right, at one point. He had been seen, making smug faces. And I guess if you look into it, he was involved in 3 other quote-unquote self-defense shootings. So this guy just likes to shoot people. Okay, this guy just likes to shoot people. So this is from CNN. It says, South Carolina jury finds store owner not guilty of murder in killing of black teen. All right, that's what they say. Now, if you see my phone on the side, how I got this done, I wanted to show you, brothers, because I went looking for a way to do this. If you capture your screen, all you got to do is have it. It's this app called Let's View, and you download it on your computer, and you download it on your phone, and then from your phone you launch it, and then it gives you this little thing you can, and it does sound too, which I thought was really cool. It does sound too. It's good if you want to stay. I went out looking for this because I was trying to get into my Threads account on the computer, and I couldn't because I don't have the password for it. And it tries to send me a link to reset my password through my phone, and it sends me a link. I click the link and it doesn't do anything. So it just opens up Instagram and then nothing happens. That's all it does. It just opens Instagram. It's stupid. But anyway, so I went to this so I can just show you Threads on my phone, because I am logged in on my phone, and Lord willing, I don't ever get logged out, because who knows how the fuck I'm gonna get back in. But anyway, well, I guess, they probably figure out something through my phone. But anyway, I got a couple things here. Want to talk about it. There's a lot going on. On top of that situation, there is also the why am I drawing a blank? Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, there's also the Carmelo Anthony situation that happened. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I will mention it in part. All right, I will mention it in part. And basically, we're just going to scroll down. We're just going to start and just get it how I get it. So, this is from It Don't Stop, man. It says they are not playing viral now. A boycott Asian business. Now, the first time, there was also another video I wanted to see. It was it was right here. Right there. It says, Asian restaurant owner says he's sorry after berating black customer for not tipping. The Evanston, Illinois eatery, Table to Sticks, has faced protests and online criticism following the recorded confrontation. Now, I'm going to go and play that because, if you remember a couple years ago, there was a movement called Stop Asian Hate. All right, Stop Asian Hate. Well, and it was primarily targeted towards so-called black people. But you don't realize the amount of hatred, all right, towards black people that comes out of Japan and Korea and Vietnam and China and all these different places. All right, all these different places, man. They have a bone to pick with Jake specifically, but especially the more melanated you are. Right? They even have an issue with their own selves once they get dark. They say you look like you work in field. Right? They have an issue with dark skin. They don't like it. All right? They think it makes you look poor, low class. All right? They don't like it. Okay? And this individual followed this guy out. Table to Sticks video. And this guy was really never sorry. He was sorry of the confrontation. All right, not the confrontation. He was sorry that, or he felt remorseful for the repercussions. Okay, if he was sorry, as you know, everybody's heard that saying, if you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it, right? And there's some truth in that, and there's some not truth in that, because sometimes, you know, we just do things we weren't meaning to be malicious. This guy was meaning to be malicious, and when he went out and he was in a rage, and he went out and went malicious on this motherfucker, all right, and when he did that, he had no remorse. He didn't care. He wanted to do that. Now, when everybody started showing up to his business and boycotting him, that's when he started to feel sorry. Why? Because his pockets felt sorry. He didn't feel sorry. His pockets felt sorry. And that's the situation, Jake. And I mean, if you want to go and boycott, you know, so-called Asian places, I mean, go right ahead. You ain't going to hurt my feelings any. I'm just going to say that boycotts don't work in general. It's not wicked to boycott. If you want to boycott because they're doing this, go right ahead, Jake. All right? It's not wicked to do so. Just know that boycotts usually don't bring too much of a change. All right? They don't bring too much of a change. Now, am I going to go out of my way to support Moabite and Ammonite businesses? No, absolutely the fuck not. Especially after something like this. Because, again, like I said, you know, why I am light looking, all right, you know, I'm just light skinned, right? As to quote Hustle and Flow. But you know, I look like a so-called white individual, and maybe so-called Mexican on a good day, all right, depending on how much of a tan I have. But I go back, all right, to, you know, so-called Negroes, but I don't look like one. But however, my wife, all right, does. So going in those certain places like that can be a little bit I won't say risky, but it's definitely not welcoming. Right, so why I don't have to worry about myself, because again, you know, I don't look like a so-called black individual, even though technically, you know, that's who I go back to. My wife looks like that, so going into those places, you know, we're prone to get stares. Asians, look, everybody knows it, man. Asians have a bone to pick with so-called black people. All right, and that's because they are part of the Confederacy against us. Okay, now I'm not talking about Esau's Confederacy, you know, the Confederate States. I'm not talking about that. There was a confederacy, a pact, if you will. All right. That Esau, Ammon, Ishmael, Amalek, a whole bunch of nations came together and had a confederacy. They built a confederacy, a pact against us, all right, to cut us off from being a nation, to do us harm, right? And we're going to read about that and Psalms 83, right? And Psalms 83 in just a moment. But I want to show you this video. And this is the first video that I saw originally. I never saved it. But this is the first video that I actually saw before the whole boycott went down. I saw this video. And this video is probably going out because people were just resharing it. Because I guess it happened like last year. But here you go.
What do you want? I paid for my food.
Now, if you don't know what happened with the situation, he didn't. Oh, well, I did just read this, but he you know, he didn't tip. I don't know if you know this. You're not required to tip. Okay, you're not required to tip at all. I mean, sometimes I tip, sometimes I don't tip. It depends on the situation, right? If I sit down in a restaurant, usually I do tip, and I don't tip a whole bunch, right? I'm not one of those guys. I'm gonna tip enough. Or if your service was good, if your service wasn't good, I'm not gonna fucking tip you at all. The whole point of a tip is to give you an extra benefit on top of what you're getting paid because my service was exceptional. Okay, if I didn't get my water filled up and here it was, you forgot my ketchup and I kept, I kept trying to find you, get your attention and you weren't here and you kept helping someone else and you're not gonna get a tip. All right. And then my tip for you would be, make sure you're, handling everybody, all right, equally, all right, and not just focusing on one table, right? Because it has a group of people. I'm not gonna tip. You don't get their money then, right? If I'm not being serviced well, why the fuck would I tip? All right, why would I tip? Matter of fact, I'll probably leave a bad review, let alone tip. All right, like yeah, and I've left bad reviews for you. Sitting in line for 30 minutes, not a person standing up there, they're fucking 17-year-old sitting there, looks like their fucking brains fried from heroin and weed at the same time, and they never even greeted, just there. After 30, have you been helped? No, I haven't been helped, motherfucker. I've been standing here the whole time. You've been looking at me, all right? You know damn well I haven't been helped. Okay. Let me see if I can get some. And of course, I don't, go off on them like that. I'm like, no, I haven't been helped. They're like, oh, okay. Let me see if I can find someone to help you. Why can't you help me, motherfucker? So, and you think I'm a tip in a place like that? First of all they did was turn around a little screen. Did you want a tip today? I'm good, thank you. What did you do? You turned around a screen. That's all you did. Look, I've worked at those jobs too, and I never had that's a new thing. Okay, when I was working at Dairy Queen, we didn't have no tips. We didn't have a fucking little kiosk we'd turn around and get a tip. Fuck no. Matter of fact, the only job I ever worked at was a sandwich restaurant that they had tips. That was it. Everywhere else, I never worked at another job that had tips. And most of the places I worked at said you couldn't take tips. All right. So, yeah, man. It's just ridiculous. So this guy's getting mad about something that's optional. Tipping is not a legal requirement. It's not a requirement in any way, shape, or form. Okay. And this guy followed this fucking guy out because he didn't get a tip. All right. And then he said some dumb shit. Well, how are my workers supposed to get paid? I don't know. By paying them a livable fucking wage, a salary. I don't know. An hourly pay. I don't fucking know. That would probably be the best thing to do. It's not my job to figure out how your employees get paid. I'm not the employer. I'm not the one with the business. You are. Figure out how to fucking pay them. It's not my job to pay their fucking wages. That's not how it goes. Okay? That's not how it goes. That's that only in America, by the way. Only in America, because you say, "Oh, that's rude." Yeah, that you've been Babylonianized. Because most other places, certain places in Europe do it, but it's not heavily incentivized like it is in America. But you're like, oh well, if you don't pay them, they don't get paid. They only get paid $2 an hour. No. There are laws that if you are not making above the minimum wage of hour, you default and you have to get paid out at least the minimum wage. You can look that up. Okay, so it's not like, oh, I didn't get any tips. I worked for 8 hours and I only got $2, an hour. No, you're gonna default to making minimum wage, a federal minimum wage, which of course is $7. Not much better, but it's better than $2 an hour.
I paid for my food. What are you talking? Why are you following me down the fucking street? You need to get the fuck back.
And then he said 18%. I ain't tipping you no fucking 18%. All right, I ain't tipping you no fucking 18%. 15 is cutting it. I usually tip 10%. Right, 10%. You're not better than getting what the Lord gets. Okay, because the Lord tithes are 10% of what you get. You're not better than 10%. Okay, I'm not gonna give the Lord 10% of my earnings, and all of a sudden now you're gonna get 15% of something. No, you don't fucking deserve that. All right, you don't deserve that at all. All right, 10 is perfectly fine enough.
You need to get back. Why are you following me?
These people are like, oh, you should tip 25. I ain't tipping no fucking 25. Matter of fact, why don't I just tip 60% of the order then while I'm at it? Keep on raising it up. It's stupid.
Why are you following me? What do you think? Why are you following me? What are you going to do? Call 911. Call 911. If you need to settle something, you know who to call?
Yeah, they're over here. Let's go. I know them.
Okay, go tell them. You go tell them.
Then you wait here. I'll call
You go tell them. You go tell them. I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say.
No,
so what are you talking about? Bro, I'm not legally required to give you a fucking tip.
There you go.
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back, bro.
Huh?
I'm telling you to get back.
Yelling
I'm
at
not
me.
with you, bro.
I'm gonna be honest, this guy has more restraint because I would have probably knocked that guy right the fuck out. I'm just being for real with you. All right, I'm just being 100% for real. All right, that guy's pressing me. I'm gonna be for real. You're gonna get my fucking blood pressure working up. All right, you're going to get my blood pressure working up. You're pressing on me. All right, you're threatening me. I don't know what you're going to do. I can't feel safe enough to turn around my back and walk down the street because you're behind me. I don't know if you're going to hit me in the head, right? I don't know if you're going to try to fucking sucker punch me or what you're going to do. There it is. I'm walking down the street, and I got to watch the street that I'm trying to cross, but I can't watch it because I got to keep on turning my head back and rubbernecking to see what you're doing back there. You're going to pick up a rock and hit me, or, hey, yeah, I don't know if you have a weapon on you or what, all right? And you start yelling at me and getting in my face. I don't know. I might have to get carnal with you. All right, not that I want to. All right, but again, it's just one of those situations. I think that was Apostle Har said that. He said, he said, I'd like to get carnal with him. Of course, just making a joke, right? But there's certain situations like that look, we abstain from being overtly violent and doing that. But if you're pressing up on us, all right, and you're getting us in a situation where you got us nervous because we don't know what you're gonna do, and we don't know if you're gonna attack. Yeah, I mean, we don't know how it could go, man. Right, you justifiably you'd want to wait until they put hands on you, but I don't. How am I supposed to cross the road when you may or may not be plotting on me behind me? I don't know, man. If you get me a situation like that where I'm stressed, I might hit you. I might hit you. I'm not gonna hit you for no reason, right? You're not gonna say some things. Again, if he would have just said, "Oh, you didn't tip, you motherfucker," I'm not gonna do anything to you. I'm gonna think you're a dickhead, and I'm gonna probably, get in the car and then, say something to my wife like that guy was a fucking prick. All right, what a fucking dickhead. Anyway, and let's go over here now. All right, or whatever. That there might be a sentence or two said about you, but that's about it. I ain't gonna go out and hit you. I ain't gonna get in my feelings. But when you're following me blocks down the street, and I'm trying to get away from you, and I can't get away from you because you keep on following me, and I'm crossing the street, and you're crossing the street with me, and you're screaming and yelling at me, yeah, that's gonna that's gonna get me on my nerves. You're gonna get me in that major pain moment, man. And I might just, at the very least, fucking slap your ass. All right. And again, we're not carnal people. We don't try to be, at least. All right. We're not perfect individuals. That's why we have Yahweh Shem Shai, but we try not to act on those. But again, if you're threatening us and getting us pushing us up against the wall, so to speak, cornering us where we can't really do anything, what am I supposed to do? Try to run away from you? Then you're gonna run after me? Look, man, what am I supposed to do in that situation? Okay, I'm just saying, in a situation like this, if this is the type of situation you need to be circumspect about. Everybody, of course, we know the nations don't really listen. All right, but walk ye circumspectly. All right, we always get this. Walk ye circumspectly. And that's a big thing we're talking about today, all right, is circumspection. So Ephesians 5 and 15 through 16, the famous scripture, all right, we get this all the time because it's very, very important in times that we're in, right, as it says in 16. So 15, it says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil." All right, understand what time we're in. Understand the times. Understand what's going on. Understand how people are. Understand what type of spirits that people are in walking around. Why? Because the days are evil. We're in evil days, all right? People are getting clapped up, whacked up, and smacked up, all right? People are getting their wigs split, all right, and at an all-time high. Okay, at an all-time high. All right, you might get stabbed up, you might get shot up, you might get fought up, you might have a brick fucking grabbed and whacked across your face, you might have a pot of boiling oil tossed in your goddamn face. All right, you don't know what could happen. You have to be circumspectly assess the situation and make a reasonable hypothesis of the situation that you're getting yourself into. Okay. Now, what is a hypothesis? All right, we should all remember that word from science class, right? Hypothesis. Like a type. Hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative, testable, and falsifiable statement or educated guess that proposes a possible explanation for a phenomena or a relationship between variables. So a relationship between variables. Or, for example, to cut this down, it would be a educated guess, all right, for between variables. It's more psychological, but here's your hypothesis. If I go out, all right, here's another one. Cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect. You can look that up. Cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect is the fundamental principle of causality. One event, cause, makes another event happen. Effect. All right, cause and effect. Okay, so one event. Okay, if you have someone yelling at you and you're backing in, or someone's yelling at someone, backing up, hey, I'm gonna do something to you. Hey, I'm gonna do something. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Hey, what are you gonna do? Hey, what are you gonna do? You got to realize that humans are technically, according to science, animals. right? You never heard that saying, you know, backing up an animal against a wall, all right? And it's the same thing. Animals have instincts just like we have instincts. We have instincts, animals have instincts, all right? So our instincts is that you're going to get our blood pressure going, all right? You're going to have our fight or flight kick in, all right? And when you have your flight or flight kick in, you have two options, fight or flee, okay? And you don't know what each individual is. Some of us are fight, some of us are flee, all right? Some of us are fight, some of us are fight, excuse me, some of us are flight, all right? I.e., some of us are fight, some of us are go away, okay? Now, there's some people that are like kind of a blend, all right? I myself am a blend. And we should all be a blend in this truth. I'm going to try to flee first. I'm going to try to say, hey, man, I don't want, flee is it, and, part of it is not just leaving, but back, calming the situation down. Hey, man, look, man, I don't want any issues. I don't want to have any issues with you. If I offended you, I'm sorry. That's not to try to, I'm not trying to have any issues. All right. That's not what I meant. If you took it as offense, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it as an offense. All right. It just kind of came out that way. My bad. Didn't mean it. No harm done. My bad. Well, hey, motherfucker, what you going to do? Look, I don't really want to do anything, man. I'm trying to get out of here. I don't know why you're having an issue. I already told you I didn't have no issue. I don't want to have no issue. All right, you go your way, I'll go my way. No, I'm trying to have an issue. Well, I'm not, man. I said back up. I said I'm going to come over here and do something to you. I would back up if I were you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Come on. And as soon as they put your hands on you, bam, clock right across the fucking jaw, man. All right? That's how it's supposed to be. Okay? You're allowed to defend yourself in this truth, in this ministry. Don't get it twisted. Okay, but you should try to de-escalate the situation. But some people are just beyond de-escalation. All right, and when that happens, sometimes you gotta, fix their mind a little bit with a mean right hook right to the fucking jaw, right? And then they might get it. That was one event. All right, the cause. All right, the effect. What was the cause? You didn't want to back up. You wanted to keep on being an aggressor. You wanted to keep on being a fucking demon and pursuing this individual. All right, they said they didn't want no issue. They said leave me alone. They said, stop fucking with me. And you didn't want to do it. And you didn't want to do it. And you didn't want to do it. And what was the effect? You got clocked right across your fucking jaw. And that's the best situation. All right, that's, we're not ones to be toting weapons. You could get someone out in the world that totes guns. All right, you could get someone that has one of those Issacharites, man. They like those big ass fucking knives. All right, I knew an Issacharite girl one time. All right, she was cute. She was older, and she was crazy, man. She was a loca, all right, a little vata. All right, she was crazy, but she was sweet, but crazy at the same time. Those kind of like Chicano girls, man. They're like sweet and crazy at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. If you ever seen them, then you know. They're like their looks will deceive you and get you into a bad situation. So, but no, she had this big ass knife, and she told me, like, oh yeah, I carry it. I'm like, oh shit, that's a big ass knife, man. She's like, oh, you want to hold it? I'm like, fuck. I mean, I'll hold it, but I put my hand in my sleeve. So, and she was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I ain't getting my fucking prints on this motherfucker. This was back in the day. And she's like, what? No, I ain't gonna stab nobody with it. I'm like, I don't trust you to fucking carry around this big ass knife. Hell no. But she was sweet though. But you could run into an Issachar like that. All right, you come and say some shit that you shouldn't be saying. You're being an aggressor. Lord told you to be circumspect. He also told you to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Let's go and get that one. Okay, wise as serpents. But the other thing is, birds aren't known to attack that much. But if they feel threatened, they will attack. All right, they will attack especially if they have baby birds with them. All right, they will fucking attack. They'll start swooping on your ass, man. All right, they're not like as aggressive as a cat that's on the prowl on the hunt, right? They're more, calm, cool, collective. They're harmless for the most part until you start pressuring them and trying to attack them. They will peck the shit out of you. All right, they will some of them, if they're in a group of birds, they will gang up on you and flap on your ass, all right, with their wings and pecking at you. They will do that. All right, birds will do that. So don't get it twisted. Being harmless does mean we won't ever defend ourselves. A lot of people think that, oh, that means we'll never defend ourselves. Well, no, you're allowed to defend yourself. All right. Why would the Lord have you stand there and just take an ass beating for no reason? All right. You can't hit back. Let them hit you. You can't hit back. No. See, that's like that type of Christian narrative that goes out. Oh, you should, don't. No. If someone attacks you, you have the reasonable ability to defend yourself. All right. You are allowed to do it. Why would you just stand there and let someone kick you? All right, that's stupid. All right, it's the same thing. You're allowed to defend others too. If a brother is getting attacked, you're allowed to whack that motherfucker right in the goddamn neck. Bap! All right, in the ear, hit him in the ear. All right, kick him in the leg. Whatever you got to do, man, to stop that. The brother from being attacked. All right, your wife, your kids. All right, so some random guy comes and tries to take your kid. You're not gonna hit him. You're not gonna beat the shit out of that guy. You know you're gonna beat the shit out of that guy. All right, we're not carnal individuals, but sometimes carnal situations happens. All right, we're not constantly sitting around like, ooh, I'd like to do something to him. We don't want to do anything to anybody. We don't want to be in altercations. We don't want to be in fights. But if that unfortunate situation ever happened, right, we are prepared to defend ourselves. Okay, we are prepared to defend ourselves. And some of us, like sometimes, I with mace, all right, so in Vegas or whatever you want, you can carry mace, all right? That ain't going to kill you, but it definitely won't feel too good, right? So that's personally what I like to do. I don't carry it all the time, but in certain situations, get you a can of mace and someone fucks with you, say, hey, man, back up. They don't back up, you don't even got to hit them. Just spray them with that mace and leave and call the police. Say, hey, I maced this guy. He was trying to attack me, and that's it, right? Move about your day, all right? And that guy's going to have fucking stinging-ass eyeballs and nose and throat for the rest of the day. All right, so Matthew 10:16, it says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We don't go around attacking people. We don't go around seeking to attack people. All right, but we will defend ourselves if cornered. Right, and that's what you got to realize. That's a basic human thing. That's a basic human thing, and you got to have cause and effect. And again, running into us is a little bit different than somebody out in the world. These people out in the world got heavy spirits on them. They got heavy demons on them, man. You run into us and you threaten us, worst case scenario, you might get hit, you might get maced. You do that somewhere out in the world, well, you might be taking a dirt nap later on that night, right? You might be, 6 feet under in a week or so, all right? You might have a cold, hard bunk bed in the county morgue, man, all right? Because these people aren't playing, all right? Again, Ephesians 16, all right? 5 and 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. These people are walking around, they tote guns, they tote knives, they tote all sorts of shit, okay? And you might get killed in other ways. You might have some, effeminate Jake, all right, or a female Jake, all right, that goes and gets in their car and tries to run you down and use the car as the sword, man. Okay? So you got to remember what the times you're in. You can't go around pressing people like this. Okay, because and this is with all individuals, with Jake, with not Jake, with heathens and Jake alike. It doesn't matter. All right, with Jake, you got to watch out. With heathens, you got to watch out as well with the Jakes. Jakes, you got to watch out with the heathens. Everyone's got to watch out because these are evil times. The spirits are up. People are out of their fucking minds. They're all wacko. All right, they got a lot of demons on them, making them act funny. And again, there's been people that have been shot over mustard, not putting mayo on a sandwich and shit, someone getting flipped off, all sorts of different types of situations. You're really going to risk it, all right? You're going to risk it because your feelings were hurt, And same with this Asian guy, man, that we were just, that I was just showing the video about, wherever it was. Let me reconnect, bear with me. 1 minute, hold it. Anyway, we're back. So, let me, 1 minute. All right. But yeah, so, same with all these individuals, all these individuals that are doing stuff like that. Well, that guy, I forgot where I even put the video. Here it is. This guy, he's fortunate he ran into a more, cool, calm, and collective. I was looking for a better word. A cool, calm, and collective Jake. Because and I think he probably felt that vibe, because if he would have known this guy was a YN, he probably would have not done that shit. All right, because he could have potentially lost his life. But anyway, let's watch some more.
Bro, I'm not trying to fuck with you. You piece of shit. I'm not trying.
See, he said, look, I'm not trying to fuck with you. Look, Jake was not trying to do it, but they always paint Jake as the aggressor, right? And that's another thing we're talking about today. They always paint Jake as the aggressor. When a white person does it, not the aggressor. So-called, so-called white. So-called Asian person does it, not the aggressor. So-called black person defends himself, he's the aggressor. So-called black person says something, he's the aggressor. It's always like that. It's always been like that. And it's because Esau and all these other nations, they formed a fucking confederacy, all right, against our people, and that's why they're so upset, all right, because they're in league with each other, all right? They're in league with each other.
Goddamn f***ing yelling at me!
I'm not trying to fuck with you,
You
bro.
shut your goddamn f***ing mouth, man!
I would have popped him right in his shit.
Little piece of
I paid
I'll
for my
smack
food.
the shit out of
Bro,
you,
I paid
punk
for my
ass,
food.
man!
I paid for my food, bro.
Piece of shit.
I paid for my food.
And it was, well, you were yelling at me? Man, you were the first one fucking yelling in the first place, you fucking slant eye.
How the fuck do you think
Bro,
they make money?
I paid
you
for
piece
my
of shit,
food.
son?
I
How
paid
am I
for-
staff supposed to make fucking money, huh?
So raise
By
the
paying
price.
him?
Huh?
Bro, we can solve this chill, bro.
Punk ass,
We
man.
could
As soon as he hit his camera, I'm laying my hands on you.
We could solve this chill, bro. We could solve
that's
this
assault.
chill, bro.
No, that's not assault. Assault. He was already assaulted. Actually, know your rights. All right. He was already assaulted. The assault is verbal. All right. Battery is when they hit you. All right. Assault is when you're threatening someone, saying you're gonna do something. And that was assault. He said, "I'm gonna slap the shit out of you." That's assault. Okay. Battery is where they actually physically touch you. Assault. What is assault? Assault is generally defined as an intentional act that puts someone in reasonable fear or apprehension of immediate bodily harm, or an unlawful attempt to commit physical violence. It can result in criminal prosecution and civil liability. It is often categorized into different degrees depending on the severity. So, let's see. Simple assault involves actions such as raising a fist in a threatening manner, brandishing a weapon, or throwing an object or missing. Verbal assault. Verbal. It's also assault as well. Saying, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you up." That is an assault. It says under specific circumstances and laws, severe verbal threats that make a person fear for their immediate safety can constitute assault. Though words alone are generally not enough. I know it's enough into that at least. All right. If is someone yelling in your face assault? It is. Legally, yelling in someone's face can be considered assault if it makes the victim reasonably fear that they're about to be physically harmed. Now, physically harmed. Now you say, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. That's assault. All right. Now, if they went and slapped the shit out of them, that's battery. So, yeah, man, at this whole case, this guy's pressing you, and you're doing that. That would have been legally justifiable for you to slap the shit out of him.
I paid for my food. We could solve this chill.
Come here.
We could solve this
Let's go
chill.
talk to them.
Why are you harassing me?
Punk ass
Why are you
bitch ass.
harassing me?
Fucking raise your goddamn
Bro,
voice at me.
why
huh?
are you following me down the
I'll
street?
slap the shit out of you,
Why
man.
are you following me down the street, bro?
Punk
Why are you following me down the street?
Wanna get slapped up?
Why are you following me down the street? Why are you following me down the street?
He's got demons on him.
Relax, fucking make
Chill
money,
out,
huh?
chill out.
Why'd you following this man?
Chill out, bro.
Shut the
You need to
fuck
calm
up,
down,
man.
bro.
You
Why
fucking
you
raise your
following me down
goddamn
the
voice
street,
at me, huh?
Bro, you
Huh?
need to get back.
You
You trying to
wanna
back me
fucking
into a
apologize?
corner. You trying to back me into a
Huh?
corner, bro.
What is wrong with you, bro?
What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? What are you
Did
doing?
nothing wrong. What you doing?
What are you doing, bro? Bro, what are you on?
What is you doing,
Fucking
bro?
piece of shit.
Bro, what are you doing?
Fucking got him backslap the shit out of
Bro,
me.
what are you
Wait.
doing? What are you doing, bro?
Yo, go back up, bro.
Hey, take my bag. Take my bag.
Yo, bro, what the fuck you doing, bro?
Take my bag. Hey, get back. Get back. Get the fuck back.
Cut the video because I bet he was about to whoop his fucking ass.
What are you on?
And right here, this guy just put his restaurant out of business. It's true. It did close. Okay. It said the same owner yelled at me and slammed the menu on the table when I dined there 1 year ago when I was a student. I can't believe I'm not the only one experiencing this. Got a whole story. Wonder if were they black? I bet they were. For a $5 tip. You need to shut them down. This was a pathetic apology. He did this because he thought he could get away with it. Shut them down. We must immediately stop giving businesses to people that don't treat us with mutual respect. Absolutely. I would never support this guy. I'm not going to support that fucking dickhead. Let's see. He needs to press charges. Stop buying from those who disrespect us and do not want our business. We look weak. I agree. That young black man had a level head, extreme patience, a strong heart, and incredible emotional intelligence. This is gross. He needs to press charge. Absolutely. I bet someone made a racist comment. No. This guy says, I was just thinking this. He honestly has, I'm surprised it wasn't a racist comment because YouTube is horrible with it. Because I was just thinking this. He honestly had so much more restraint than I ever could have. I agree. Both physically and verbally. If he clocked that guy, he would have been well within his rights to do so. It's true. He would have been well within his rights to actually hit that guy and just defend himself. Like I said, if you get me in that situation, like I said, it starts to make my Agent Orange act up. What do you say? It starts to make my Agent Orange act up. It makes my Agent Orange act up. What did he say? He said, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to quote that part because he says, he's talking about killing, but, it's not about killing. It's more about techno. Make my Agent Orange act up and I get the urge to kill. You plotting on me? That's what he said. You plotting on me? When people plot on me, I don't like it. It gets my Agent Orange act up. Makes me get the urge to kill. Anyway, we don't get the urge to kill. I'm just messing around with the Major Pain quote because I just watched it yesterday. That shit's funny as fuck, man. Well, I gotta be one of the funniest movies ever. I love that movie. Major Pain's great. You find a piece of candy in your pocket. Anyway, but yeah, man, he would have been well within his right to defend himself. All right, and he didn't. So hey, good for that. Good for that. You know, young Jake there. But this is what you got to realize, man. That guy could. Here's the situation. If that Asian man, all right, would have said that black guy got hostile with him and killed him, no one would have thought of anything. All right, everyone would be like, "Oh, well, the black guy, you know, they're all thugs and all that." But had that guy actually put hands on him, I bet people say, "You know, no reason to have to put your hands on him. No reason to have to defend yourself. It's always the black people. It's always the monkeys, right?" Because that's what people on these fucking comments do. All right, I bet. Let's see the newest comment. Let's see. Let's see if anybody. Yep. See, the usual suspects with a monkey emoji, right? For what reason, right? What reason? Just racist, just to be racist. And you say, "See, you're always trying to make things a race thing." Well, it is a race thing. All I had to do was search the comments, and someone's just being a racist just because this guy, you know, was walking. All right, the usual suspect, usual fucking suspect. All right. Let's see what we got. Young boy is extremely respectful. He's disrespectful bum for not tipping. You know, it wouldn't have been a disrespectful bum if it was a white person though. Right? Let's see. The owner was in the right. See, he was in the right cause I'm what? Cause he's black. All right, that's what it is. See, what else do we got? You know, and there's even races between them. It says, "From the dining table to the chopsticks, no Japanese person would use such a nonsensical phrase. They're probably Chinese or Korean." It's funny. All right. Crying about stereotypes while reinforcing stereotypes. Black people don't tip. Don't need to. All right. Tipping is not legally required. All right. Anyway. What was it called? Table to sticks. Shut down. I heard it was shut down. I guess they shut down some stuff. It says, it shut its phone lines down, deactivated social media due to backlash, severe backlash. I guess people are also protesting. Let's see. Table to sticks protest. Let's see. There's a whole bunch.
For more of what's in his pocket after he paid you. Are you kidding me?
He's a criminal.
I don't want your business to be closed. I want you to change. I want you to humble yourself.
I want you to go to jail.
And say, "I have learned a lesson." I want you to say, "I deserve to be in Evanston because I am a changed man and I am going to do better." We want to see transformation because closing down and leaving is easy. Now you get to do the work. So what we need to do is come in here and make him do the work. Yeah.
Stupid. Stupid. This doesn't feel right. It was a public flogging that went on for 2 hours. It seemed to have been excessive by the end. No, why? Why? Why is it, and let me plug in my phone, bear with me. There we go. But no, you think it would have been different if it was a black-owned business that did that? No, nobody would be saying it's excessive. All right, they wouldn't have felt bad. But people, see, the thing is that Esau has, I won't say necessarily compassion, but they feel sorry sometimes for the other nations, but they don't ever feel that same level with Jake, right? They don't ever feel that same level with Jake. They always have a bone to pick. And it's because of this alliance. All right, it's because of this alliance. It's because of this confederacy. Let's go and get that. All right. So anyway, this is just one of the many events that are being cited. All right, as part of this boycott. Right. There's also this video.
Oh my God.
So, I don't call myself an influencer, but I have a few million views between my videos. So, I'm going to give you all the publicity, all the attention
They not
that you
playing.
have been wanting because
Something's going on.
this is fucking
Now they got the AI window graphic. All right, and I guess they call their business "Hurry Up and Buy." All right, "Hurry Up and Buy," which of course is in reference to was it Boys in the Hood? I remember it more from "Don't Be a Menace." So it was maybe it was Menace to Society. Hurry up and buy. Come on. What movie was that? That's from Don't Be a Menace. But there was an original one. Menace to Society. All right, it was Menace to Society. I was like, because I know Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood is a reference of like a bunch of hood movies. All right, I don't know every single one. I know obviously Menace to Society. I think a little bit of Boys in the Hood. There was a bunch in there, and also some of its own stuff. If you haven't seen the movie, it's hilarious. After Sabbath, go ahead and give it a go, give it a check. But yeah, it's in reference to a scene. Hurry up and buy. Menace to Society. I'll play the clip.
Man, shit, boy, I'm about to get with her though. Let me see what's up in this motherfucker. You ain't gotta be creeping. I don't know why you trying to act like you cleaning up.
They stay
Always
doing
think
that.
you gonna steal something. Hey, what you want, dog? Go ahead and give me that OE. Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck up some of this odds.
Oh, no, boy. Oh, man, I'm from the old school, brother. Yeah.
You not to drink beer in store.
Hey, man, I'ma pay you. Hey, look, bitch, stop following me around this motherfucker. You getting on my nerves.
Hurry up and buy.
Fuck up, man.
Just pay and leave.
Hey, man, I said I'ma pay you. Won't you calm your motherfucking nerves?
Damn, hurry up and go.
Hey, man, won't you go ahead and get it, bro? I got your back. Get my change. Hey, won't you give my homeboy his change?
I don't want any trouble. Just get out.
Trying to steal their change.
I feel sorry for your mother.
What you say about my mama? You feel sorry for who?
I don't want any trouble. Just get out.
The fuck you say about my mama?
I don't want any trouble. Just get out.
You talking
You
shit.
don't-
Every time I
I
come in
don't
this
have to-
motherfucker, you got something to say. Hey, where the motherfucking videotape? Give me the motherfucking video. Stop, give me the motherfucking videotape right now. Hey, nigga, hey, clean the cash register. Come on.
All right. Again, they weren't right for that, but again, always, if they would have just not fucking done that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you make people lose their mind. Again, I'm not going to stand up for that type of action, but when you do that, when you constantly antagonize an individual and ostracize an individual and talk about that individual and pick on that individual and separate and segregate that individual and do put in the media about this individual, you're going to make that person almost out to pretty much be what you have them be, because you're going to make them fucking lose their minds. Okay? You're going to make it in. Again, then you do these blanket terms where it's all right? Every single one of the Jakes. All right? All of us do it. All of us do it. Not all of us do it. But all of you do have a racial bias against our people. All right? Every single one of you. Yes, it's in your blood. Okay? It's not in our blood to do the things that we do. Okay, there's plenty of us that don't do crime. All right, there's plenty of our people that don't do crime. But every single one of these so-called Asian individuals that's actually a Moabite or Ammonite, because they might look like that and go back to Judah. They might be a so-called black person themselves and not even know it, and they won't have that. Okay, but the individuals that actually go back to Ammon, the individuals that actually go back to Moab, every single fucking one of them is like that. All right, to the point where even Asian individuals have to stand up and say something about Asian individuals because Asian individuals don't want to admit it. All right, other Asians have to be like, look, what? There was a video. Let me see if I can find it. That was basically saying, yeah, you know, everything that we do is rooted in white supremacy. I don't know if it's the video, because there's another video that I want to play. But anyway, you know, this lady was outraged. Here, I'll play it.
I couldn't believe it when I was coming down the street.
There's a movement. White people don't. Oh my God. There's a movement.
Right. So people are all upset about that. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's see what people are saying. It says, here's an Asian. Not all blacks, not all blacks. All Asians. All Asians. Right? But it is, yeah, because, look, not all blacks are actually literally out there going and doing things. All right, so-called blacks, as you like to say. I don't really like that term, because it's like saying whites. All right? It's really, it's a term that they use to try to dehumanize. You don't hear whites, or you hear white people. But they say blacks, they don't say black people, because they're trying to dehumanize. They don't want to put people in it, and just blacks as a color and not a human, right? But all Asian individuals, yes. It says black people mindset, small frontal brain lobe. Bro, that is absolutely not helping this discourse. But they aren't wrong, are they? I said, prove it. Well, the funny thing is that all you Asians are really fucking pissed off about this. All right, no, it's not all Asians. Well, you're saying that. You got this individual on screen that's talking about that. You got that other individual. You got Rick Chow. You got all these individuals. All right. So yeah, man, it is all y'all motherfuckers, right? Look at what people say. Now everyone can shop in peace and quiet. Watch robberies go down. See, these people have it out against you, Jake. All right? Don't forget, man. Don't forget how much these people fucking hate you. I'm eating at Asian restaurants all week. Stop Asian hate. Why stop Asian hate? For what reason? Because you want to go out and kill black people? You want to talk against black people? You want to be a white supremacist? All right? That's what you want to do? All right? Let's see. I love this. It says, good for you. I hope that dog meat is well done for you. I'm gonna like that. Because, yeah, you're over there eating dog. Motherfuckers are dirty. They're unclean as a motherfucker. They've been caught putting meat on the fucking floor and shit. I don't ever eat those fucking Asian motherfuckers' places. Ever. All right? You can't have anything. They're putting oyster sauce and fucking pig asshole in just about everything. Right? I'm liking that. Let's see. It says, you mean black people have been walking past that poster to go and spend their money in that store? It said, because the poster alone would have been enough for me to never walk in there. I agree. I'm not going to, again, I'm not big on the boycotts, but if I see some shit like that, fuck them. Fuck those motherfuckers. I'm not going to go in there and give them my money. Hell no. All right. Let's see. It says, y'all don't shop in those stores anyway. Those are Asian grocery stores, not regular American grocery stores. Yeah, but, they're in areas like that where people do shop. All right? Everybody shops at those places. I don't know if you go in Vegas, we have a very big Chinatown. All right? And everybody shops there. A lot of mostly Asians, but that's fine. It says, I wouldn't worry. I got work. You got to work to earn money. You need money to go to an Asian store. Y'all be fine. And who is this? I can't tell if that's a so-called Mexican or whatever. And, y'all so-called Mexicans, y'all got to get it. All right, y'all got to get it. Because you are Jake's U.S. Christ, man, you got to get it. Because you're over here thinking you're better than the Southern Kingdom. All right, and Esau's going to get a hold of your ass, man. And I actually like that video that you had there was some video, I can't remember where it was. But this white one was like, yeah, us Mexicans, we stand with the white people, with you black people. And the lady said, shut up, you fucking spick. All right. And I was like, good. Thank you, Esau. Good, because you got these these Mexican individuals, and a lot of those fucking Mexicans are just tears. All right, and a lot of them are Jakes as well, but a lot of them are fucking tears. It's just like down in the South, you got a lot of so-called black people. They ain't even black people. All right, they're just fucking Edomite babies. Okay, their great grandpappy was an Edomite. Okay, and he was he was the master on the plantation. All right, and that's what he was. But same thing with a lot of black Mexican people. You were colonized the fuck out of. All right. And they went over there and they did a lot of things to actual Issacharite, or before ancient, going back to Aztec, all right, as they would say, Aztec Indian, but Native American is what, they're not even native to American. Again, covering cast upon covering cast. But it's let's see. Black on black violence is the #1 killer in the black community next to abortion. That's what they want. It's true. That is true. But so that's the thing. If all these white people were killing each other, there wouldn't be that big of an issue. But it's Jake, again, the limelight is always on our people because you guys are so fucking obsessed. You're obsessed. Okay? I get it. All right. If I didn't have nothing going on, I'd probably be obsessed as well. Let's see. You look like you even shop there. Let's see with this. Stop playing the victim. They are the problem. They are the problem. It says in Seattle, you can sprint towards a pregnant woman's car, empty a gun, and kill her and her unborn baby, and the court will find you not guilty due to insanity. All right. I mean, to be fair, that guy looks a little fucking not well in the head anyway, but that guy probably should have been persecuted, but that's one instance. All right. Let's see what else we got. 2 men accused of killing toddler Jasper Wu in a shootout on a Bay Area freeway no longer face the possibility of life without parole or a death sentence after prosecutors reduced charges against them. Well, that's what would be called manslaughter or unintentional murder, all right, unintentional homicide. Because again, that if they were shooting at other people and that happened, again, not justifying their actions, but you're acting like they went out specifically targeting Asian individuals. There are people that actually go out and specifically target black individuals. All right, must we go back to the Tulsa massacre? Must we go back? Must we go and talk about Nat Turner? Must we go and talk about any? I mean, the list go and the beat. Well, instead of the beat, let me not sing because it's Sabbath, but and the list goes on. Visual government data on interracial violent crime shows that black perpetrators account for approximately 27% of violent crimes against Asian victims, while Asian perpetrators commit less than 0.1 violent crimes against black victims. Well, first of all, that could be true. All right. Well, first of all, there's more black people than Asian people, so that's a stupid statistic. That's where per capita comes in. Per capita is not really a good differentiator between, for example, if there was 10 people in my house, all right, and 7 of them were blue people, all right, and 3 of them, all right, who I would be a part of, were green people, and 7 of the blue people bought apples, but only one of the blue people that I'm in, or the green people that I'm in, bought an apple. I buy more apples. All right, our people buy more apples. We don't buy more apples. All right, the other people bought 7 apples. They buy more apples. They're doing it more. But because of how per capita statistics work, it's all watch. All right, is per capita our per capita statistics inherently I don't know how to spell that shit, flawed. Okay, well now I do. Inherently flawed. No, they are not flawed, but they're often misunderstood. I'm going to show you how this works. They hide distribution. So if 10... Okay, so if there are 12 people... 9 blue... 3 green... and 12 of the blue, or my bad, and if and 7, or if 7 or 6, all right, we'll do it 7, and 7 of the blue people bought apples, and only 1 of the green people bought apples, for per capita, who is more likely to buy an apple? It might fuck everything up, but blue people are more likely to buy an apple. The thing to note is that green group, very small, only 3 people. With such a small sample, the percentage can swing dramatically if just one person's behavior changes. For example, if 2 people buy apples instead of 1, the green rate would jump up from 33 to 67%. Okay. Okay. What if 2 green people bought apples and 7 or 6 blue people bought apples? I'm going to show you why it's flawed. It's even. Okay? They're actually the same. Okay? So, 2 green people bought apples, but 6 blue people bought, 2 of the green people bought apples, but 6 of the blue people bought apples. But it looks like they both buy apples at the same rate. Okay? But who actually bought more apples? If you're asking who bought more apples in total, then blue people bought 6 apples. Green people only bought 2 apples. So blue people bought more apples overall. This highlights the difference between the questions. So when black people are a small minority and white people are a higher minority, well, they're not really a minority in a way, a higher minority, or are not a minority, are more prevalent in society, and more white people are killing people, but a few black people also did. This makes black people look like they are killing more people, but it's really the whites. And this is why it's flawed. It says you're touching on an important distinction between total numbers and rates. Suppose a population has 90 white people and 10 black people. 9 white people commit homicide and 2 black people commit homicide. The total number, in total numbers, more white people committed homicide. 9 versus 2. So, more white people committed homicide overall. A randomly selected black person from this hypothetical population would be more likely to be in the homicide offender group. See how that doesn't make sense? But there's more white people that are killing people. So you're telling there's more white people that are killing people, but in the black people group, they're more likely to kill someone. Why? Because they're a minority. It's just like the same thing. If there's only 3 green people in the room and 2 of them bought apples, but no, well, the green people buy more apples. Well, yeah, not really though. They don't really buy more apples because the blue people bought way more fucking apples. They bought 7. Meanwhile, the green people only bought 2. Well, yeah, but green people buy more apples. We only bought 2. You bought 7. Yeah, but you buy more for your people because we're a smaller number. If we were a bigger number and you spread those out, it would look just like you not buying that many apples. But because you condense, see, this is all part of Esau's deceit. Okay, this is all part of his deceit. All right. It says both statements are more white people commit homicide overall, but randomly selected black person's more likely to be a homicide offender. Okay. This is per capita rates. Who has a higher rate of offending? That's flawed. Okay? That's way flawed. That's why it's flawed. More white people are killers, but black people take all the blame. All right, and it says what you're pointing to, it's glazing. Real concern about how statistics are interpreted in public discussions. It's slightly different from saying per capita statistics themselves are flawed. They are flawed. It says a per capita statistic is designed to answer how common is the behavior within a group. For that purpose, it can be useful. It's not really. But it's not really useful. It's not really useful when group sizes differ. Well, I wouldn't say it's not useful. In fact, it's actually it's not useful. Okay, it's not useful. If you have a small minority of people and a big minority of people, okay, if you have 5 people that are making up for the entirety of the race, all right, meanwhile you got 100 other people making up for their race, yeah, if one person in the smaller group does something bad, it's going to make them look worse than the bigger group. That's why it's stupid. It's stupid. It's a flawed statistic, all right? It's not a good measure of criminal statistics. It's not, and it never will be, and it never was. What else do we got? This person says, as an Asian, I support black people boycotting Asian business. Let me show you how. You can start by stopping wearing clothes, shoes, and underwear because they're all made in Asia. Then stop using phones and TikTok because they're all made in Asia. Stop buying wigs and electronics because they're all made in Asia. Stop buying Asian food, watching anime. Stop eating fried chicken because chickens were first bred in Asia. Yeah, there you go again with that shit. All right, yeah, but we weren't the first to fucking fry it. Well, we created fried chicken. We created fried chicken. You didn't create fried chicken, all right? Jake did that. You didn't create ribs. Jake did that, all right? And the only reason that fucking fried chicken even came over there is because of black soldiers. Look it up. It says, you think you can fucking cook? You can't barely even see, all right? It says, talk without action, just empty talk. Black lives matter. All right, sure, whatever you say. Here's another one. Good sarcasm. Please just don't come to Asian-owned businesses. We need customers, not robbers. I see blacks are mad. Some, not all, say that they hate Asians, steal their culture to make K-pop. It's true. Oh, you hate feelings of stealing too, huh? All right, there you go. Y'all are never beating the anti-black allegations. It's really sad. Y'all couldn't wait to show it. Yeah, fuck y'all, fucking slant-eye, fucking zipperhead gooks. Fuck y'all, motherfuckers, man. Fuck y'all. And y'all are gonna get what's coming to you, man. Y'all are gonna get what's coming to you, all right? And the Lord, first of all, you're gonna be on the fucking bottom is what's gonna happen, all right? You're gonna be on the bottom, and you're going to chains too, all right? Here's one. I love getting this one. This is probably one of my favorite scriptures, honestly. I'll probably put this on my backup channel, honestly, low-key. So we'll see. Maybe not. We'll see. It says Isaiah 14:2. Let's go from verse 1. We'll go from verse just 1 to 2. Okay, and we'll do the same thing we'll get in the blue letter. Okay, because I want to show you what's going on this. So first we got to look up in the word what strangers means. Okay, well, we'll get it next. So we'll read it first. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, that's Israel, okay, and will yet choose Israel. That's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You don't believe it? Don't give a shit, all right? Nobody else fits the curses in Deuteronomy, all right? When were you put into yokes, all right? When were you brought into another land that you had not, and where were you sold, all right, amongst people and brought on ships? Where did that happen? Where did it happen? It didn't happen. Didn't happen to you, all right? Especially not you small hatters that are claiming to be the people today. It happened to us, okay? It says, and set them in their own land, that land being Israel. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Let's get this very same scripture, and let's get it in the New Revised Standard Version. All right, and by the way, this is the scholar's choice, all right, as I like to call it. This is what the seminary schools use and Bible scholars, quote unquote, use. Okay, restoration of Judah. It's all Israel, really, but it says, but the Lord will have compassion on Jacob and will again choose Israel and set them in their own land, and aliens will join them. Aliens are foreigners. You know how we say in America you have illegal aliens? Well, aliens, those are heathens, not of Israel. Okay, mind you, he said he's going to choose Israel. So anybody outside of Israel would be aliens, and aliens will join them and attach themselves to the house of Jacob, and the nations will take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel will possess the nations as male and female slaves in the Lord's land. They will take captives whose those who were their captors and rule over those who oppressed them. What does it mean to oppress somebody? What is oppression? Okay, oppression. It says, I forgot a P. It says oppression refers to cruel, unjust, and excessive use of power and authority to subjugate, control, and burden a person or a group. Okay, and that's what you're doing. All right, you're being cruel, you're being unjust, you're using your excessive power and authority to subjugate our people, or to control our people, and put burdens upon our people. Okay, and that's fine. All right, this person right here, Mers Empire or Mers Empire. K-pop's canceled. Stop dancing like us. Stop b-boying. Stop dressing like us. We can't find t-shirts from elsewhere. Find another culture to emulate. We literally do not need you. We don't need you. What do I need an Asian for? Really, honestly, what do I need an Asian for? Okay. Oh, well, your computer. Well, then you guys weren't the first ones to make computers. All right. Who first made the computer? Okay. Charles Babbage. Oh, wasn't an Asian. So, no, we don't need you. Okay? Don't need you. All right? Don't need you at all. Okay? Fried chicken, we can make that ourselves. All right? And we don't need to eat no fucking fried cockroach asshole. All right? So, what the fuck do we need you for? Right? What do we literally need you for? Anyway, the term for strangers, I forgot to get it, is gare, and it means a foreigners in Israel through conceded rights, a sojourner, a stranger, an alien, okay? A non-Israelite. A non-Israelite. Okay, matter of fact, I want to see what this goes back to. It goes back to gore, all right, which is just means to sojourn. You know, sojourn. What does sojourn mean? Temporary stay in a place. All right, you're a temporary resident. You're not of Israel. Okay, you're just a temporary resident. Let's see. Who made Nike? Phil Knight. Not an Asian. Not an Asian. All right? So just shut up, fucking Moab over there, and keep working your fingers to the fucking bone. All right? You didn't make the shit. You didn't make the shit. Okay? You didn't make it. You didn't come up with the t-shirt. Who made the t-shirt? And some of these were probably Jake's, but who made the t-shirt? Not a single inventor. The Navy and Cooper underwear. Again, not Asians. Who made the t-shirt? Not Asians. Who made the snapback hat? Not Asians. Who made the Nike? Not Asians. All right, just because people send you some fucking fabric so you can cut it out, that's fine. All right, we literally don't even need you. It's just that's where the majority of stuff gets made because you'll accept being fucking paid nothing. I don't know if you know this a lot, but a lot of food can be made in A lot of the t-shirts can be made in Venezuela. It can be made in Iraq. All right, so I've seen clothes made in all sorts. A lot of Middle Eastern places made in Turkey. It can be made in, like I said, Venezuela, made in Mexico, Hencho en Mexico. All right, there's a lot of stuff, and there's made in America. So what the fuck do we need China for? What do we legitimately need you for? Well, what about your phone? What about your phone? Well, I use an iPhone, and I don't know if you know this or not, but it's made in Los Angeles, California. It's just assembled in China. You could just get someone here to assemble the shit. You didn't make it. You didn't make it, right? You didn't make it, all right? You didn't make it at all. Well, what about computer chips, right? Where is Intel based? Oh, look, California. Where is NVIDIA based? Oh, Santa Clara, California. Okay, so we got graphics card. We don't need Asians for that. We got computer chips. Don't need Asians for that. We got snapback hats. Don't need Asians for that. We got shirts. Don't need Asians for that. Fried chicken. We already got us. So what the fuck do we need you for? So we don't need you for anything. What the fuck are you doing? You're not making shit, right? What a Toyota, right? Cool. I guess we'll all just drive Fords, you know, or fucking some other piece of shit vehicle, right? Doesn't matter. It says, what else? It says, and everything you are using is stolen from Africa. Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you sure Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, and Indians went to Africa to loot, or was that the Europeans who went to search for gold? It says, historically, China has not conquered any country, but the British did, hence why there's so many whites in South Africa. Honestly, I think more whites kill the blacks because even made you as slaves back then. Why no one ever said stop shopping at white stores or hate all whites? They do. They do. That's actually, nice try. I know your small little fucking Moabite brain ain't working so good, but yeah, that is kind of the point too. Is stop shopping at places where they hate you, all right? And as Jake says, support black-owned business, which I don't do a whole bunch because Jake is greedy as hell most of the time, all right? Jake is greedy as hell most of the time. They're like, hey, man, you want this cookie? This cookie's $25.99 for a fucking cookie, right? There's a place called Cookie Plug. They wanted like fucking way too much money for a fucking cookie, and they went out of business. This race war is so stupid. I absolutely adore Asian people. Yeah, well, because you're the so-called black woman. You're Esau's pit bull. You love everybody that doesn't like you. All right. I'm so glad that somebody posted this. Call halal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yom La Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I get this all the time. I have this on my computer, man. Look, I'll pull it up right now. There it is. Let's read it. Let's move this over here. All right. Paper, chess, alphabet, medicine, civilization, airplane, I would like to preface, all right, that some of these were not necessary. Some of these were their first concepts were invented by not necessarily Africans, but black people in general. Some people just going back to Africans were more than likely Israelites dwelling in in the land of Ham, all right, because the Africans are primarily Hamites. They're not Israelites, okay? That's why you can't go off of black, because Africans are black people too, but they're Hamites, all right? They're not Israelites. They're not of the children of Israel. Okay. Now the West Africans, most of those are actually Israelites. All right, Judites. Okay, for the most part. But again, that's not totalitarian. That's not 100%. All right, there are some people over there that are, again, you're gonna have people in the land of Ham that are Jake. You're gonna have people over here that look like Jake that are not. All right, that's, again, I've talked about that time and time again. But so I want to preface that, and some of these things were created by Jake. All right, like the concept was, and then white people might have come and, made some arrangements later. Or some of these things were first started by white people, but they are popularized and made functional by so-called black individuals. For example, the light bulb. All right, Thomas Edison did, yeah, but it only worked for a couple minutes. All right, it was a black individual. I can't remember his name. You can go and look it up. He actually made it accessible and usable, where the bulbs would last for a couple of weeks. Could you imagine having to change a bulb? I think at first, it was like the Edison bulb. I think it was like 30 minutes max that you could get out of it. Could you imagine having to change a light bulb every 30 minutes? Who the fuck wants that? Anyway, so paper, chess, alphabet, the alphabet, medicine, civilization, airplane propelling, biscuit cutter, folding bed, coin changer, rotary engine, car coupler, letterbox, stainless steel pads, torpedo discharger, disposable syringe, home security system. You want to have that security system to hide yourself away from the so-called blacks if it wasn't for the so-called blacks that made the home security system in the first place. Corn planter, cotton planter, ironing board. Who made the home security system? Usually the lie. Who made... Look, oh, there it is. 1966 by African-American nurse Mary Van Britton Brown and her husband. There you go. Wouldn't even be able to have it. The corn planter, the cotton planter, the ironing board, the street sweeper, horse bridle bit, the horseshoe. All right, we know how Esau loves their horses, and I mean they love their horses. Lawnmower, typewriter, train alarm, image converter, radiation detector, peanut butter, paints and stains, lotions and soaps, automatic fishing reel, ice cream mold, printing press, envelope seal, printing press. Who made it? Who made printing press? They say it's Johannes Gutenberg. Sure. W.A. Lovett. He did not invent the printing press. That was Johannes Gutenberg. However, Lovett was an African-American inventor, as they say, Jake Israelite, who made notable mechanical improvements to the printing press. Smoother operation, easier maintenance and loading and unloading. Improve the mechanisms used to feed paper in the press and remove finished print. Designing certain parts to be more easily removable for cleaning. Structural and arrangement adjustments that allowed the press to run more evenly. So again, it's as you know it now. All right, Jake. That's why I prefaced it and said if they didn't invent it, they made it to what we know today. All right, the envelope seal, laser fuels, pressure cooker, window cleaner, pencil sharpener, fire extinguisher, lock, shoe lasting machine, lubricators, rocket catapult, the elevator, gas mask, traffic signals, hairbrush, Heating furnace, airship, i.e. the blimp, folding chairs, hand stamp, fountain pens, dustpan, insect destroyer gun, the baby buggy, the sugar refinement process, clothes dryer, cellular phones. Oh, I thought we needed you. Pressing comb, curtain rod, lawn sprinkler, automatic gear shift, street sweeper, urinalysis machine, horse riding saddle, the shoe, the player piano, arm for a record player, doorstop, doorknob, photo print wash, photo embossing machine, postal letterbox, the coilet, the commode, the furniture caster, the guitar, golf, motors, thermal hair curlers, lantern, the gas burner, the kitchen table, bicycle frame, wrench, eye protectors, egg beaters, defrosters, air conditioning unit. No more of those. Sorry, got to go back to the Stone Age. Two-cycle gas engine. No more motor. No more motorized vehicles. I was trying to think of the word. What was the word I'm looking for? Motormobiles or whatever they used to call them back in the day. Internal combustion engine, starter generator, refrigerator controls, clothes dresser, bottle caps, electric lamp, hydraulic shock absorber, the refrigerator. You're gonna have to go back to using ice blocks. Mop, stair climbing wheelchair, fire escape ladder, telephone transmitter, electric cutoff switch, relay instrument, telephone system, electric mech brake, galvanic battery, electric railway system, roller coaster, auto air brake, helicopter, Santa phone, super soaker, blood plasma, I assume the retrieval of it, ice cream, pacemaker controls, guided missiles. Esau's military wouldn't even be able to work without Jake. Space shuttle retrieval arm, programmable remote controllers, video commander, multi-stage rocket, and more inventions. Right? There you go. So don't use any of those. All right? At all. You're banned. All right? You're banned. Your chicken is entirely different. You should really learn to change the grease as well. I don't know. Is this a so-called Asian? I can't. Is that a so-called Asian or I can't tell. They might be Hawaiian. And whoever side you're on, I don't know if you know about this. Black people chicken's way better. All right, Issacharites got good chicken as well. And the only reason the Asians have decent chicken is because, well, there it is. Again, y'all learned to fry chicken from us. That was a whack comeback. Try again, ho. Right? Funny. There you go. Their little racist thing. They got to do it. You also invented the wheel and discovered fire. So include those in the list. And the funny thing is, we probably did. All right. You think Esau fucking figured that shit out? Hell no. They just like to give it to not troglodytes, Neanderthals, right? Because we are not boycotting you guys. You guys are the ones trying to boycott us. We don't hate you, but you do. Let's see. Does remember when they were pissed when they pissed the president off and he said they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs? All right, is this a so-called black lady? Yeah. She said, but look, cat torture ring, university students selling cat in a blender, cat in the microwave. What's up with cat torture in China? The Chinese cat herding cult led by a mukbanger. Again, it's all fucking... And the whites also blame them for Code 2 and bomb their country. If they don't like us, then take y'all back to where y'all belong. Yeah, every time there's a disease, it fucking breaks out of China, dude. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. Right? Read the first 3 inventions, and you realize this post is complete bullshit. Well, let's go and see. Paper. Black people's involvement in the creation of paper. And again, they try to cover up all these things. Black people were not involved in the initial historical invention of papermaking, which originated in ancient China, right? However, they were vital to early paper production in America as enslaved and free laborers. They revolutionized the print and publishing industries. That's what they say. Let's see. While Black American did not invent the physical medium of paper, they transformed its societal use by pioneering Black-owned and operated print media. That's what they say, of course. It originated in ancient China. Well, of course, that's what they're going to say. And again, they're just going off of what they perceive to be. What else do we got down here, though? Let's see. Irish brought fried chicken to America and taught fellow black slaves how to make it. Well, that's what they say. All right, but it was really in the slave trade where it happened. But even if that did happen, the original Irish were Jake anyway. All right. Let's see. Fried chicken was actually first eaten by the Vikings. That's what they. Yeah, again, Vikings originally Jakes. Let's see. Let COVID know. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. What else do we got here? Don't forget Korean drama and K-pop. All right. K-pop wouldn't even exist without us. We're the blueprint. You're gonna look up K-pop, and all the kids are obsessed with that shit. All right. If you go watch how they dance and shit, and how they dress in the first place, all right, they want to just be. Look, if you Asians dressing black, like black people. Look, dreadlocks. All right, all these different types of things. Asian American gangster style. There's a video I saw years ago. Stuff like this. All right, where do you think you got that from? Oh, that's streetwear. Where do you think you got streetwear from? Y'all motherfuckers weren't dressing like that. Y'all never dressed like that. Y'all never dressed like that. And I bet if you look at who started streetwear. All right. California, New York, and Tokyo. Sean Stussy, they say, is the progenitor of American streetwear. That's what they say. Willie Smith, not to be confused with Will Smith, Dapper Dan, and then a couple Asian people. But yeah, New York, Harlem. Doesn't say where he's from, but and then California. So again, they happen to come over there. So again, you know, that's how these people do. Let's see. This one says the iron is impossible to ignore because China manufactures the world's goods using African minerals. Again, they're not the same people, but still, they're not doing it on their own accord. It's extracted from war-torn countries. Then they make videos mocking the very miners powering their supply chain, while simultaneously aligning with those invested in scapegoating black people for the decline of Western civilization. Black people globally connect the dots and choosing accordingly. The black dollar is the conscious dollar. If it's no longer welcome, the suburbs are waiting. We'll never stop frying chicken. We taught y'all how to fry chicken, and now y'all open up Louisiana chicken places in the hood. Get the fuck out of here. It's true. But yeah, man, so let's get... So I already got... well, I didn't get it. I wanted to get it. But let's get Psalm 83, okay? We got some scriptures along the way, but I want to get the ones that I actually have written down. Psalms 83, it says, Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. This is a psalm, so it's a plea unto the Lord. Keep thou not silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For Lord, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Tumult is like a tumult, like a loud noise. Tumult. Okay, a loud, confused noise. Okay, and all they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Let's go and look that over here. All thee that hate thee have lifted up their head. All those that have hate you have raised their heads. What does that really mean? Raise their head. That's really pride. Okay, raising your head like that is really pride. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. It says they lay crafty plans against your people. They consult together against those you protect. Is that not what's happening right now? Absolutely. It says they have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be fuck you. I got too excited with it. I got too nervous. Inside joke. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they, well, let me get in from verse 5. It says, They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So what they did is, this is the whole plot, all right? The Esau and all nations said, Let's come and cut them off from being a people. Don't call them Israelites anymore. Let's call them black. Let's call them Negro. Let's call them Spicks, Jigaboos, Moon Crickets. All right, all these different types of names, right? Tonto, all these different types of shit that they put on our people, Redskin, all these different names. Even not even just the proverbs, the bywords, but also, you know, Mexican, black, African, Spanish, Latino, Native American, Indian, Venezuelan, Mexican, Dominican, right? Puerto Rican, all these different types of names that they put on our people. That's all from so that the name of Israel was no longer in remembrance. Okay. So nobody remembers, and it wasn't until 1948 where you had these motherfuckers that were really dead set on establishing a land of Israel, because at the time it was basically occupied by Palestine before it was our land. But of course, we were chased out of the land. We were scattered abroad. That's diaspora. Okay, now you have a lot of the Jewish people that talk about a diaspora or the Jewish diaspora, but they don't. According to the scriptures, we wouldn't be dwelling in that land. All right, until the Lord came back. All right, and if the Lord came back, there would be only one world religion. All right, worshiping Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So it's proof that he hasn't came back yet, because there's still multiple religions. There's still multiple wars. There's still situations going on. So that's proof that he hasn't come back. And if he hasn't come back yet, that means that the land of Israel has not been established up to what you're saying it as. You should not be on that land. Who are you? You're not the people. Okay, you are not the people, because the people are not going to be dwelling in that land in this current time. Okay, not yet. So that's proof that you're not the people. It wasn't until 1948 or that 1940. You're the 1948ers. It wasn't until 1948 with help, all right, of the Germans that you had something called the transfer agreement. You can look this up, and they helped you get over there. All right. They really like covering up information, but you can go look at, is it true that Nazi Germany helped Jewish people go to Israel, eventually leading to the Nakba? Sure. The transfer agreement, the Ha'avara transfer agreement in 1933. In 1933, Zionist organizations in Nazi Germany signed the Ha'avara agreement, transfer agreement. The Nazis agreed to allow German Jews to immigrate. It was more than this, but this is what they allow you to know. It says, allowed German Jews to immigrate to British Mandatory Palestine, but I thought it was Israel, permitting them to transfer a portion of their assets by purchasing German goods. However, this was not driven by a sympathy of Zionism or a desire to build a Jewish state. So Nazis' sole motivation was to get rid Germany of its Jewish population. But I thought they just killed them all. I thought that's what they did. No, there was more to it. Break the international anti-Nazi economic boycott and boost German exploits. For the Zionists, it was a desperate mechanism to rescue tens of thousands of Jewish lives with their assets from persecution. Nazi opposition to Jewish states. Let's just skip all that because it's talking about the origins of the Nakba. The displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, referred to by Palestinians as the Nakba, took place in 1947 and 1949. There was more than that. It's been happening for years. It says this resulted from the 1947 United Nations partition plan, ensuing the ensuing civil war. The 1948 Arab-Israeli war was primarily driven by the rejection of the partition plan by Arab leadership. They said, we want the land. The Arabs said, no, we're not giving it to you. So they, as small hats do, or specifically all Edomites do, they went down and they covet fields and take them by violence, right? If somebody wants to post that, they can. It says the declaration of war by neighboring Arab states and the widespread flight and expulsion of Palestinians from their homes during the fighting. In short, while persecution by Nazi Germany pushed millions of European Jews to seek refuge, leading to increased immigration to Palestine, the Nazis actually opposed a Jewish state. The Nakba was the direct result of 1948 war and the collapse of the UN partition plan, not a deliberate German policy to create Israel. Well, they were all in cahoots. They are all working together. You want to know why? Because they're all Edomites. Okay? They're all Edomites. They can be called by different names, all right, but, you have the Gomer, all right, the Germans, that's their real nation, all right, they're still Edomites, but you have them, and they're Edomites, and you have the Ammonites, the Amalekites, all right, which are the small hatters, all right, they're Edomites, and then, of course, you have Esau, Edom, they're Moabites, and then, of course, you have Gog, all right, which is the Russians, which are also Edomites. They're all Edomites' grandchildren and descendants. Right? But they're the biggest progenitor. All right, Esau, Edom, and that's why they're named number one first. All right, Edom. All right, but again, all these nations have been confederate. It says in verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent; they are confederate against thee. What is a confederacy? Okay, what is a confederacy? What would I have here? Anyway, what is a confederacy? Okay, a confederacy is a political union or alliance of independent states, people, or organizations. So people, races, individuals, all right, that join force for a common purpose, such as defense, foreign relations, or trade. So what are all these individuals, and this is why they hate us most specifically of all. Why do they hate us most specifically of all? Why are the laws disproportionately and not in our favor? Why do they help out Asians more than they help out us? Why do they help out Arabs more than they help out us? Why do they help out small hats more than they help us? Why do they help out these people more than they help us? Because, again, while they're against those people, they don't like those people either. They have a shared common purpose. Okay, and what is that? Hating Israel. Okay, Moab hated Israel, Ammon hated Israel, Edom hated Israel, Amalek hated Israel, Ishmael hated Israel. They all hated Israel. They had a singular common purpose. There's a couple common purposes they had, but it was one primary singular purpose, and the common purpose is that they hate Israel and they suck. Yeah, they suck to cut us off from being a nation. All right. To have our name not go out, not to be called Israelites anymore, but to be called blacks, all right, Mexicans, Hispanics, all these different names. They didn't want the name Israel going out. They didn't want us to know. They didn't want us to be on top anymore. Why? I mean, think about it. I blame them, but you can't blame them. You can blame them, but you can't blame them, right? You can blame them because we're us, but if we were them, I mean, think about it. A lot of the things that Esau and these nations do, I understand. All right. I mean, you're wrong for it, and the Lord's going to get you back for it, but I do understand it. I will let you know that I do understand where you're coming from, all right? I can completely understand it, and don't think that I don't, because I've thought about these things. I've pondered these things. I've put myself in the position of being an Edomite before, or perhaps another nation, and think about it. You didn't make anything. You didn't make the style. You didn't make the music. You didn't make the food. You didn't make the culture. All right, you don't talk cool. You don't look cool. You don't have the biggest penises. All right, Salakia. I'm gonna keep it as Sabbath friendly as I can, but you don't. All right, that's one big thing you know. You're not as muscular. You're not as athletic. All right, you're not as attractive. All right, your women are not lusting after you like they're lusting after our people. I get it. I'd be pissed as fuck too. I would be pissed as fuck too. I'd probably form a confederacy too, right? We all would probably, right? I mean that'll drive a person insane, won't it? All right, here it is that you're trying to make yourself look better than another individual, but that person created all the music that you listen to. All right, all the styles of music, all the styles of dress, all the fashion, all the food, all the seasoning types. All right, and you have Esau that like they'll always try to say, have you ever heard about the spice trade? Well, yeah, but again, you didn't know how to use those spices. I don't know if you know about this, but you can look into after the spice trade. Esau was not, the British were not known for their well seasoning. All right, they mainly used, a handful of seasonings. All right, we can go and get that. All right, I'll show you it. All right, and this is coming from someone who likes medieval stuff. Okay, we're originally the people that were over that land. Anyway, mind you, we're the original Brits. All right, the original Gaelic individuals. All right, as they say, the original. And you don't believe it, and you don't have to believe it. I don't give a fuck if you believe it. All right. Again, this is all you. Again, you were confederate against us. So he who controls history controls the present, and he controls the present controls history. So you can make the narrative look anything. I could look up, is Esau the so-called white man? It's going to say no. Is that true? No, it's bullshit. But it's going to say no. All right. So, and you have the power to do so. All right. Because it's in the power of your hand. All right. Because the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. And that's fine. Right. That's fine. But what was I going to look up? Man, I just forgot. What was I going to look up? Let me think. Can I ponder? I forgot what I was going to say. It's like you. But anyway, that's what happens when you go on tangents. But anyway, that you have become united in a shared cause, all right, to cut us off from being a nation. Okay. And again, when you're on the bottom, you know, well, to prove that you're on the bottom, this is Isaiah 40:17 to show you what the Lord really thinks about the heathen nations. It says, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him as less than nothing and vanity. There you go. There's another one. I believe that's how it goes. KJV scripture that mention the nations are like a bit of water that fell out of a pot. Drop of a bucket. Here it is. This is another thing that the Lord thinks about you. Okay, Isaiah 40:15. Surely the nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. You know, a scale is like a back then they were like what we would call today like a scale. All right, like a regular scale. Okay, but scales back then were different. All right, scales were different. All right, they were like this. Okay, and nowadays, well, I mean, I guess it still works for modern day. Now our modern ones look like this, but dust on a scale, it doesn't measure. Okay, it's not going to give you anything. The surely nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. He weighs the islands as though they were fine dust. And this is the NIV, but let's go get the NRSV and see what it has to say. All nations are like a drop from a bucket. They are counted as dust on the scales. See, he takes up the isles like fine dust. But really, I want the King James Version here. Which reads, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and they are counted as the small dust of the balance on a scale. It says, behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. Okay, so you are counted as nothing, very little. All right, as we got that one. Less than nothing. There's one, I think, spittle. It says, here it is, 2nd Esdras 6:56. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. We just got the precept on that, right? So like a drop of water that comes out of a pot. All right, that's it. You're nothing. Okay, the Lord doesn't like you. Okay, vengeance on all nations. There's a scripture. Psalms 149:7. And it says, do I have that one already? I don't. It says, like it. I was reading my notes. It says, Psalms 149:7 through 9. It says to execute vengeance. Well, let me go up a little bit further. I'll go from 6. Okay, verse 6. Psalms 149. It says, let the high praise of Yahweh be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. There's another one though. Micah 5:15 is great. It says, Micah 5:15, and I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. I love it. Good one. That's badass. I like it. All right. It's like reminds me of a good like a heavy metal lyric. All right. It's such as they have not heard. That's awesome. I like that. That's a good scripture. They're all good. But yeah. Anyway, here's the one about y'all laying with your father. All right, Genesis 19:33 through 38, it says, and they made their father drink wine that night, And the firstborn went in and laid with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose, because he was so messed up he didn't know what was going on. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. I lay yesternight with my father. All right. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. See, he wasn't wicked in this situation. He had no idea what was going on. It says they were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father, and the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. You are the children of incest. Okay, your mamas. All right, that's where you came from. All right, it says the same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. There you go. It says, and the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Benami, the same as the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So Moabites and Ammonites. All right, that's where you came from. All right, banging y'all's poppy. Okay, that's where it came from. Disgusting. So where else do we want to get here? How long have we been going? Almost 2 hours. Because there's a lot, man. There's a lot. We get rid of that one and that one. We can get rid of that one. He apologizes. He admits he had lost it when the video was taken Sunday afternoon. He followed the regular street, intended telling him not to come back after leaving without tipping again. Yeah, I'd say you kind of went a little overboard than that. Here's that individual again. Okay? Here's that individual again. We got this whole video to get as well. Let's get... I was going to touch a little bit. I was going to talk a little bit about the whole situation with. Let me. 1 minute. My phone went out on it. 1 minute. All right, Slock, we're back. If I let my phone screen go off, it just disconnects. So we were going to talk a little bit about. Let me clear some of these out. Clear that one out. This one out. Now, I actually have this video. It says, I won't share this video because it's so disrespectful, but I got you. I'm in a budget anyway. It says, Asian dares black people to boycott Asian businesses. I love when the black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. And I actually have that video because it was in the Elder Manata Zatbaz video, beloved brother. Shalom if you're watching this somehow. It was in his video. Esau and Moab have strong opinions. All right, and really, why is Esau and Moab so connected at the hip all the time, and the other nations as well? Primarily, the biggest with Esau and Moab is because they are confederate. Okay, they're part of that confederacy.
Boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the black culture and the hip-hop culture.
Let's see. Microphones, really? Australia for Rode microphones, so we don't need you for those. What about blue mics? Those are good. China, all right. But with some limited or historical assembly going back to Latvia, the United States. All right, so it just depends on where you get them from. What about we got Shure mics. Sure mics are great. Mexico and China. Okay, we'll just again. So none of these are specifically only in China. They're primarily manufactured, but we can go to the ones in Latvia. We can go to the ones in the United States. Shure microphones, Mexico and China. Just get them from Mexico. Production facilities and whereas so mostly in Mexico. All right. What about Samsung? I bet Samsung's probably in China, right? Or cheaper. China. Yep, absolutely. They're engineered by Samsung Technology in Hicksville, but they assemble them and manufacture them in China. Again, so all these things are made in America, assembled and put together in China. All right, so
You think that's made in? That's made all in Asia. And here's another thing for you guys. You guys want us to leave the neighborhood so bad? Oh, Asian people are in our neighborhoods? We're in white neighborhoods. We have our own Chinatown. We have our own Koreatown. You think we really need you guys to benefit off and make money? A lot
you do, because you know where they fucking put y'all? Right next to the ghettos.
of us do go to college as well. You're being outworked by immigrants who barely speak English. And you're not embarrassed? Go to the bank, start your own businesses, and deal with your own people. I want to see your own women get on their hands and knees and do pedicures and manicures and deal with nasty ass attitudes, okay?
They do.
Please, boycott Asian business. I'm all for it.
Matter of fact, how did Asians learn to do acrylic nails? Started with the Vietnamese. Okay. Asians, specifically Vietnamese, learned to do acrylic nails when the Hollywood actress Tippi Hedren visited a refugee camp in Northern California. Okay? That's who taught you. Okay? This individual right here. You didn't make them. You didn't create the nail businesses. That's why you always make nail shop now. I do nails for you. I do nails for you. I don't know if you know about this. My girl's in the nail market. All right? She does nails. All right? And we have I know people that also wear press-on nails, my cousin stuff, and I don't know if you know about this. There's a big saying. It's called it goes, did you go to the Asians? You ever heard of that saying? Did you go to the Asians? And you want to know why when somebody tells you did you go to the Asians? Because they can tell you went to the Asians. You want to know how they can tell you went to the Asians? Because your nails are fucked up. They're crooked as shit. Right? There you go.
My daddy, yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Donald T, can't you see? Can't you see? You belong with me, endless ecstasy.
Also, is that all the same person? That has to be one.
I can't stand how they're pushing this racist.
I want to be your enemy. I understand you guys are upset and you want to boycott Asian-run businesses. Totally fair. I do acknowledge that many Asian people could be racist. And I condemn all races, regardless their ethnicities. Racism should not be accepted or tolerated. But not all of us are racist. I don't think I'm racist. I mean, I try not to be. I don't think I'm racist. I'm just Asian. I don't think it's fair that we all are punished because...
Oh, wow. You don't think it's fair that you're all punished for it? Well, welcome to the fucking club. Every time one black person does it, it's all black people. Every time one Mexican does something, it's all Mexicans. Every time one Native American does it, it's all Native Americans. But no, every time some Asian does it, you don't want it to be all Asians? Well, fuck you. Join the club. Sorry. Womp womp.
So one guy. I mean, I don't know who the fuck is Rick Chow is. Why are we all punished because of this one guy?
I know. Isn't that shitty? Isn't that shitty getting punished your whole demographic of people because, you know, one situation happened? Oh my God, isn't that shitty?
But
I'd never know who else who's been through that.
Don't call all Asian people our enemy.
And so today is the
Here, I like this guy. This guy might be a Jake.
day of reckoning. A day of reckoning within the Asian American community. To recognize our complicity in upholding the institutions of white supremacy.
Yep.
That's it.
Today, we have to interrogate our own anti-blackness that exists in our community. That we have to recognize our own privilege and anti-blackness that has existed for decades. That we have to understand that any progress that we have towards defeating Asian hate is inextricably tied to the progress of our black and brown brothers and sisters.
Asian convenience store owner Rick Chow, charged with ending the life of a 14-year-old black teen, was just found not guilty. And my reaction is, well, we already know what's going to happen. Riots. And that's the risk you take when you run a convenience business in a location where you will be absolutely inconvenienced. And this is an Asian versus black situation. If you look online, you will see blacks calling for mass direct action that no Asian wants. And I know blacks look down on Asians in the field of physicality. That's just a reality. I get so many messages from black people resorting to potential violence because of my interpretations. And I'm not even going hard. It's because you look at me as inferior, which is fine. Now, I'll be the first to tell you when I get these messages that say, you better not say that shit in front of me or keep your mouth out of our business or else. It's like, yeah, I'll stay out of your way for sure. That small percentage making violent threats puts the entire weight of that threat onto every single person that looks like them. Like, I don't hate all black people, but I'm afraid of the demographic. And if you internalize my fear as a good thing, I mean, that's on you. Because I have black friends who are scared of black people. I am absolutely terrified of the violence a person can do, especially to a vulnerable person. Because I've been around violence and I see the patterns. It's not fun.
If you're a white man.
So all these people that are talking about, oh, this and that. Well, you're saying it's because of the violence. You're saying it's because of this. Well, what about all the signs from years back about, oh, no black people, no monkeys allowed, you know, and you know, text messages and stuff like this. All these different types of things, all right? When you only have 0.04% black people in your population, okay? Well, why put no black allowed, no black allowed in Stoll, right? And then when something gets said against you, you do Black Asian unity, or you do solidarity against hate, stop racism. Fuck you, fucking piece of shit. All right, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. All right, it's stupid. So again, like the brother put in here, Esau and Moab have strong opinions. Yeah, opinions are like, and you know what, about, they do have opinions, all right? They all have opinions, but you know what they say? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, right? So we don't give a fuck about Esau and Moab's opinions, all right? That's what the brother talks about in this. Fuck these motherfuckers, man. Fuck them. It says they know so much they almost died in Ireland and Scotland because they couldn't farm potatoes, and almost died in America when the Pilgrims arrived. They didn't know how to bathe properly until we showed them in the Dark Ages. You motherfucker couldn't even wipe your incest, right? You're incest. Let's see. Lots of scriptures, great. Let's get Zechariah 2:8. It says, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. There you go. And he said, patience, patience. Or patience, Akim. Patience. And Akim means brothers. So yeah, man. It's not looking so hot for you, man. I'll be honest. It's not looking so hot for you. And a matter of fact, you're not nothing, all right? Let's get Deuteronomy 23. And 3 through 4. An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Okay? So you say, well, it says 10th generation. Well, it says they shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. All right? And really, 10th generation is just meaning, you know, upon generation, they're not ever going to be able to enter the congregation of the Lord. It says, why? For, because they met you not with bread and with water, and the way when you came forth out of Egypt. And because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. So what you guys did was you actually tried to hire Balaam, a sorcerer, to try to curse Israel. Okay? You tried to go and curse Israel. That's in Numbers 22 and 24. It says, or it's not in 22 and 24. It's in where was that? Let me see. I wrote it down wrong. Moab hires, prize, Balaam, first Israel. Numbers 22 and King James. There we go. So I guess we'll just go from Numbers 22. We'll read it a little bit. But anyway, it says, And the children of Israel set forward and pitched into the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And really the Moabites were, they were I think it was the Moabites and the Ammonites. They were really upset and worried about the Israelites because they thought they were coming to conquer their land when they weren't coming to conquer their land at all. It says, And the children of Israel set forth and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side, Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. They're like, oh my God, they're coming for me next. Oh no, not going to be good. Right? And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us. Now he going to do it to us. Oh no. As the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, behold, there is a people that come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Again, we used to be more identifiable as a people. We're like the sand of the sea. That's the thing. When the statistics don't make sense because there's a lot of Jake that they don't really understand it. There's a lot of Jake that look like so-called white people or look like Asians, and they're actually Jakes. There's a lot of so-called black people that actually just go back to being Asians or something like that. So again, that's why when you stop doing the whole true bloodline lineage through your father, you really start messing things up, and get people thinking their ethnicities that they look like and not that they actually are. Verse 5, it says, he sent messengers therefore unto Balaam, the son of Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. So curse this people, for they are too mighty for me. Showing you that Jake's strong. It says, Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them. If you do this, we'll prevail. So that might drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blesseth is blessed, and he whom thou curseth is cursed. So he said, I hear that who you curse, Balaam, I hear get cursed, and who you bless get blessed. It says, And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand, and they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. It says, And Yahweh came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee? And Balaam sent unto Yahweh, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, hath sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people that come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse them, peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. And Yahweh said unto Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, Get you into your land, for the Lord refuseth to give me leave to go with you. He said, Go back to where you come from, because the Lord said, I'm not going with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went unto Balak and said, Balaam refused to come with us. And Balak said again, Princes, more and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, Thus say Balak the son of Zippor, Let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me, for I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. Come on, we'll do anything. We'll make you a very rich man. Just curse them. Come on, man. Why you giving us so much problem? Right? It says, And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord, my power to do less or more. So it doesn't matter if he gave him his whole house full of gold. It says, Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say unto me more. And Yahweh came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shall thou do. So he said, go with them. Go with them. All right. But you're going to do what I tell you to do once you get there. Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. And Yahweh's anger was kindled because he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his 2 servants were with him. And let's see. We're with him. And verse 22. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass and turned her into the way. But the angel of the Lord stood in the path of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself into the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he smote her again, showing you that the Lord controls these animals as well, right? It says, and they know who their owner is, right? That goes back to that scripture. An ass know his owner, and ox his master's crib, but my people doth not know, they doth not consider, right? Roughly paraphrasing. It says, and the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was so kindled that he smote the ass with a staff. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? Right, showing that the Lord can do some crazy stuff, crazy in the eyes of men at least, right? And Balaam said unto the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in mine hand. Basically saying, if there was a sword in my hand, I would kill you. It says, for now would I kill thee. And the ass said unto Balaam, am not I thine ass, upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever wont to do so unto thee? And he said, nay. Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed down his head, and fell flat on his face. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, wherefore hast thou smitten thine ass these 3 times? Behold, I went out to withstand thee, because thy way is perverse before me. He's saying, I went out to block you because your way is perverse. And the ass saw me and turned from me these 3 times, unless she had turned from me, surely now I had slain thee and saved her alive. If she wouldn't have done that, I would have killed you, right? And Balaam said unto the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, for I knew not that thou stoodest in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displease thee, I will get me back again. And the angel of the Lord said unto Balaam, go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak unto thee thou shalt speak. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak, Balak, the Moabites. And when Balak heard that Balaam was come, he went out to meet him unto a city of Moab. They went to a Moabite city, which is on the border of Arnon, which is the utmost coast. And Balak said unto Balaam, did I not earnestly send unto thee to call thee? Wherefore camest thou not unto me? Am I not able indeed to promote thee to honor? And Balaam said unto Balak, lo, I am come unto thee. Have I now any power at all to say anything? The word that Yahweh putteth in my mouth, that shall I speak. It says, and Balaam went with Balak, and they came unto Kirjath-Huzoth, and Balak offered oxen and sheep, and sent unto Balaam and the princes that were with him. And it came to pass on the morrow that Balak took Balaam and brought him up into the high places of Baal, and thence he might see the utmost part of the people. So if we go now to 24, that was the deal. That was the situation, right? We go to 24 and 10. All right, it says, and Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he smote his hands together, and Balak said unto Balaam, I called thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast altogether blessed them these 3 times. Wherefore now flee thou unto thy place. I thought to promote thee unto a great honor, but lo, the Lord hath kept thee back from honor. The Lord held you back. I told you to curse these people, and you ended up blessing them. So that was really the story with Balaam and Balak, and how, these Moabites, all right, they wanted to curse us. All right, again, they've always had an issue against us. But again, Balaam, all right, the Lord said, you're not going to do that. You're going to do something else instead. All right, so we ended up blessing them instead. All right. So let's get want to go from here. Where do I want to go from here? 32 hours. I guess we'll just finish up. I'm not going to talk too much about Trayvon Martin and the whole situation with what's his name, Carmelo Anthony. I'm not going to talk about it too much because, again, at the end of the day, anytime a black person defends himself, so-called, or Israelite in general, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, it's always inherently demonized. All right. Now, the situation with Carmelo Anthony, should he have just left? Yes. Was he doing anything illegal, though? I mean, we're going off of American law because these people don't want to go by biblical law. Sure, by biblical law, look, he was in the wrong because he should have been circumspect. All right, he should have left. All right, we don't know what those white boys could have done to him. All right, in the same situation with those white boys, you don't know what that black boy could have done to you. Well, one of you found out, and you should have just left. All right, but at the same time, that white boy shouldn't have put his hands on him. Okay, that was technically, now a lot of people say that's not justifiable self-defense. Well, here's the thing. Okay, when you have situations where white people are known to form mobs and attack black people, and he said, "I'm not leaving. All right, come move me." All right, he was being a little bit aggressive. I'm gonna be honest. All right, and I'm not condoning what he did. I'm not condoning any of it. The whole situation was fucked. All right, the black kid. All right, Carmelo Anthony. He should have left. All right, he should have left. All right, don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna have an angry mob of black people at you more than they already will be, because they already don't like you. Right, so just be circumspect. And then that white boy, he should have been more circumspect because he told you, "I'm not going anywhere. Come move me." And then he said, "Touch me, see what happens." And then guess what? You saw what happened. You shouldn't have done that. Okay, you shouldn't have done that. Was he right necessarily for using that much force? No. All right, but at the end of the day, everybody's hating him because he did that. But if it was a different situation, all right, and there are accounts, all right, allegedly, all right, that you were not the only one there. All right, that white boy was not the only one there. There was a bunch of other white people there. Now they're saying that they weren't. I've heard all sorts of different stories. I heard that they were antagonizing their leader, the white boy that got killed. I've heard that they were threatening him as well. Then I've heard that they weren't doing that. Okay. So who knows what's happening. But anyway, if you have a group of people, a mob, all right, that's essentially chanting and yelling, and you making someone feel like they could be potentially attacked, that you might be jumped or ganged up on, yeah, that's justifiable use within Texas at least to defend yourself with lethal force. Okay, but it has to be, you have to reasonably think that you might have been in danger, and you have a group of white boys, and you're the only black boy there, and he put your hands on you, and we don't know what was all going down there. We don't have a full video account of the whole situation. All right, so right now it's just speculation. But if that happened, hey, I mean, he probably shouldn't have stabbed him, killed him like that, but he would have been at least justified to defend himself with his fists, right? But they wouldn't have liked that either. But again, I'm not going to condemn, it is a little rash to go and jump that, but we don't know what the situation is. I can't really speculate on something I wasn't there. He could have been really afraid. They could have said they were going to do something to him, and he was seeing all these guys, surround him, and he might have legitimately feared for his life. All right. When you put someone in a situation where you're backing up against the wall where they fear for their life, all right, well, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Okay, and you're trying to make it a black or white. No, because again, at the end of the day, it's a black or white thing. Because if that was a white boy and it was a bunch of big black melanated thugs, all right, as you would call them, hovering around and threatening this white boy, and he stabbed that black boy, it wouldn't have been the same thing that's going on right now. All right, because there's racial bias. All right, and there shouldn't be, not at least in a court of law and in this current society that we're in now. All right, it's the same thing. Like I stand with Kyle Rittenhouse. All right, completely. All right. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's that white boy," and all this. You have a lot of black people, that have an issue with him. No, I mean, what he did biblically, yeah, he was not circumspect, but he went to a protest. He was allowed to do that within the legal, the law. All right, and he did bring a gun, and it was holstered. All right, he's allowed to do that within the law. All right, he was exercising both his First and Second Amendment rights. All right, freedom of speech and his right to bear arms. All right, he had it holstered. He was fine. And other people took offense to that and attacked him. And one guy tried to attack him with a skateboard, and I think he actually did get attacked with a skateboard. And I believe that was one of the guys that either died or got shot. And was he justifiable for that? Absolutely justifiable for that. If you have a mob that's hunting you down, all right, when you're not being an aggressor in that situation, even if you were being, you're expressing your First Amendment right, saying, I don't believe in your thing. Again, is it circumspect biblically? No, but I'm talking about the law here is slacked, all right, in America. The law doesn't go forth here, all right, so it's really not on the table for what these people are talking about, okay? So-called black, Latino, American, white people, everybody, all right, all nations, they're not, in America, they're not using biblical law, all right, as it should, because it would solve a lot of this stuff right up, but they're using American law. So according to American law, Kyle Rittenhouse didn't do anything wrong. I mean, and they tried to get him arrested. Why? Because he defended himself, because a bunch of people were attacking him. Again, cause and effect. If you go in, I'm not going to go and do that to somebody, even if they're saying things that I don't like. Someone's, same thing with Jake, man. Someone calls you an N-word. That's fine. That's freedom of speech. They're allowed to do that. If you go out and attack them and kill them or try to provoke, and cause great bodily harm to them, you're going to go to jail. All right? You're going to jail. Right? You're going to jail tonight. All right? That's what's going to end up happening. And again, like I said, everybody's trying, it's a black, what do you think about Kyle Rittenhouse? I think Kyle Rittenhouse was well within his right to defend himself according to Babylonian law. Right? He was there. He defended himself. He was attacked. All right. Shot. All right. Boom, bam. All right. Shot out. Let some shots ring out. Killed a couple people. A couple people got injured. Well, shouldn't have been surrounding him like that. Shouldn't have been trying to attack him like that. And I've seen the video. There is videos of that. Those guys were running up on him, hitting him with skateboards and attacking him. So, yes, and he was the only one there that was Republican. Again, was it a smart situation? No. Was it circumspect? No. Was he justifiable in that action biblically? No. But the American standpoint, Babylonian law, was he justified in the American court system? Yes, and they actually, did rule it as so. All right, but there's also a situation with Trayvon Martin. All right, the person that killed him, they never got anything, right? Shot his ass and followed him out and shot him in a convenience store. It's the same thing with this the Rick Chow situation, right? And they're saying, oh, he had a gun. Well, there's no proof that it's all lies. It's false witness. Because I went down here and I was looking up, situations with, you can read it if you want. And then I had to type in not officer involved because black people are the primary target of white police primarily. But I went down here and I asked, because they go the Cyrus Carmack belt and the situation with Rick Chow. All right, South Carolina store owner chased a 14-year-old Cyrus after wrongly suspecting him of shoplifting. First of all, bared false witness, thought he shoplifted, didn't, chased him out, shot the teenager, and on June 2026, he was acquitted of murder charges. If this had been the other way around, all right, and it had been a little Asian boy and a black guy followed him out and shot him dead, he would be facing life in prison. I'm just saying, but that's the thing. Let's go and get that. Right, well, yeah, Habakkuk 1:4, it says, therefore the law is slacked, all right? It means it's not going forth as it should be, all right? We're not going off of biblical law. We're going off of a Babylonian law, which is a horrible fucking system where people that didn't do the crime, all right, are in prison, and people that did the crime are walking free, right? So Habakkuk 1:4, it says, therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. All right, we can make this a lot easier if we go and get the Bible Gateway and get it in here and then open this up. It says, so the law becomes slack and justice never prevails. The wicked surround the righteous, therefore judgment comes forth perverted. It's all perverted judgment, all right? Oh, well, he was an Asian just killing a black. It's just a blackie. We don't like him anyway, so just let him off. But if it's a black person killing, this fucking thug, this monkey fucking killed an innocent man, all right? It's always these thugs, usual suspects. But when it's an Asian, it's not a usual suspect. When it's a white, it's not a usual suspect. But when it's a black person, it's a usual suspect. See, that's again, it's all this bullshit. And I said, so what all happened with Carmelo leading the individual's death? Not biased. Said, on April 2nd, 2025, during a rain delay at the high school track meet in Frisco, Carmelo Anthony was sitting, no, that's not the one. That's this one too. Well, we'll talk about this. This is Carmelo Anthony. He was sitting under a team tent that belonged to another school. It was raining. He went under it to shelter from the rain. Austin Metcalf, that's the white boy that got killed, approached him and a confrontation began. Metcalf physically pushed Anthony. Multiple witnesses testified to a shove or a push occurring before the stabbing. So he was the aggressor. He pushed him. The other guy, Carmelo Anthony did not lay hands on him, okay? And did not lay knife on him either until he was attacked, okay? Anthony had a folding knife in or near his backpack. Anthony stabbed Metcalf once in the chest. The wound was fatal. He didn't stab him a whole bunch. He stabbed him once, okay? The wound was fatal, and Metcalf died shortly afterward. The Lord took that boy out. That Anthony has resolved that he acknowledged that he stabbed Metcalf, but has pleaded not guilty, claiming self-defense. And it was. After the prosecution, what the prosecution says happened. This is what they say happened. Anthony was in a rival school's tent, and he was asked to leave. Wasn't illegal, okay? Wasn't illegal. You don't have to leave anywhere that you're allowed to be. It says he refused and the argument escalated. Metcalf confronted him and pushed him. So he stood his ground, all right? He stood his ground, and white boy couldn't handle it and had to come put his hands on a black boy, and he got stabbed. Am I sorry for him? No, I'm not sorry for him. All right, at all. Shouldn't have done that. If you don't want to be hit or killed or stabbed, potentially, don't put your hands on people. It says Anthony immediately responded by pulling a knife and stabbing him in the chest. The use of the knife was disproportionate to the level of force being used against him. Well, allegedly, right? But if he feared that the other group of individuals were going to join in and attack him, if they were egging Metcalf on, well, that would have been justifiable, okay? So the defense argues that Anthony was confronted by Metcalf. He was. Metcalf was physically larger. He was. Anthony was shoved and feared further attack. He probably did. He made a split-second decision while believing that he was in danger. He did. Therefore, the stabbing was self-defense rather than murder. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's well, there's no evidence that Metcalf had a weapon. Didn't have to have a weapon. Okay? Didn't have to have a weapon. There you go. Let's see. Basic facts are actually not heavily disputed. There was a confrontation. He pushed him, pulled a knife, got stabbed. All right, that's it. I said, was it just Metcalf there, or was there a larger group also present? Based on the evidence reported, it was not just Austin Metcalf standing there by himself. There were numerous students under the Memorial High School tent because of a rain delay, and witnesses present during that confrontation. More than 30 students and coaches were listed as witnesses. The more specific question is whether Anthony was facing just him or Austin plus a group that was also threatening him, and that's where the accounts diverge. Prosecution many witness accounts. Several student witnesses described the actual confrontation was primarily a one-on-one. One witness specifically testified it was a one-on-one confrontation. Other witnesses said that Austin was telling Anthony to leave and that they did not see others get physically involved. Again, who are the witnesses? Were they white? Because they put him on an all-white jury. Just letting you know that. You can look that up. He's on an all-white jury. Not a single black person on that jury. All right? So you can go and look at those things. Yeah, so you can go and look at this. It's a predominantly white school. Okay? But anyway, you can go and look in the same situation with Rick Chow. All right? He chased... he chased... what was his name again? Cyrus. All right? He shot him, all right, in the back after chasing him from his convenience store. Is it legal? Watch. Is it legal to shoot someone in the back even if they were the aggressor? Rarely legal. Shoot someone in the back while they flee. Okay. Generally, no. It is not legal to shoot a fleeing person in the back, even if they were the initial aggressor. So even if he was. Self-defense laws require imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm to justify deadly force. And in a situation with Carmelo, that was we don't know. Could have been an imminent threat of serious bodily harm. We don't know what was said. It's all speculation. When an aggressor turns to flee, the immediate threat is usually considered over. End of the immediate threat. Once an aggressor disengages and runs away, they are no longer a deadly threat. Continuing to use force at this point can lead to criminal charges like murder or manslaughter because it can be viewed as retaliation or revenge. And it was retaliation or revenge. All right? He's been involved in 3 other fucking quote-unquote self-defense shootings. He's trigger-happy. He likes to shoot people is what he likes to do. Fucking motherfucker. All right? But he shot him in the back. All right, and say, oh, he had a gun. He had a gun on him, all right? Cyrus had a gun on him, but witnesses are saying that he never pulled the gun. They're saying when he fell, all right, the gun fell out of his pants, all right? That's, and that's not justifiable to shoot someone because what a weapon they had fell out, and now bam, bam, bam. stupid. All right. But yeah, man. Anyway, let me get a couple more scriptures and then we're gonna close out, because that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I mean, I've gone on, for almost, 2.5 hours now, and the whole situation is just fucking. They're big man, absolutely. They're big man. Says, look, my brother, don't let them get under your skin. Them people are going to be judged. Also, every race that put those devil hands on the Lord's chosen are under judgment from the Most High, Yahweh. Period. True. It's true. Esau lied to y'all. True. And I recommend going and watching this video. Absolutely. Let's see, what do we got? Tell wash pot and uncooked meat to go somewhere and simmer down. Absolutely. What else did we got? All black celebrities and people need to stay out of China. These people are out here. I saw that. These people are out here abusing a black baby doll under the guise of stress relief. It's hate and racism to black people. Please stop spending your money everywhere they exist. Celebrities, please do not tour in China. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll like it. You're in kind of a weird spot, weird place here, but yeah, man, I'm not gonna go out my way to support Moab. All right, after this whole situation. All right, I mean, fuck y'all. All right, because the more people, the more so-called black people and Latino, Native American that boycott your ass, you're gonna start to feel it. All right, because one of the biggest consumers in America are black individuals. I don't know if you know that or not. All right, they like to buy shit that they don't need. 12 and 9. So this is Zechariah 12 and 9. Why am I getting a server error? Zechariah 12 and 9, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that can't come against Jerusalem. The Lord's going to come against everyone, or how you came against Jerusalem. Well, He's going to come against you, and He's going to destroy all those nations. All right, He's going to save a few so you can go into captivity. All right, let's get Obadiah 1 and 15. Obadiah 1 and 15, it says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So all these things that you've done, they're going to be done to you. All right? They're going to be done to you. And some of those things are going to happen to you before the Lord comes back. All right? Some of these, don't be surprised if some of these worldly jakes get carnal with you. Okay? Don't be surprised. It's not going to be us. And we know you'll blame us anyway, even though we're Hebrew Israelites and we don't even go and physically attack anybody unless we're assaulted ourselves. Then we'll defend ourselves, like I was mentioning way earlier. We'll still get blamed for it, right? So you're gonna be blamed for it. Just like what the scripture said, that what you've done is gonna be done unto you. You know how you lump all black people in? Well, now you're being lumped in. All Asians, all right? All Asians. So there you go. Don't like it very much. Well, it's being done unto you. All right. So Matthew 24 and 9, it says, this is red letter, so it's Yahushai, right? It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So I just want to show you, Jake, that, look, we're hated for the name's sake of the Lord, all right? They don't like us because of who we are, okay? Not how we are. It's because of who we are, not how we are, all right? And sure, under the curses, some of our people act a little bit ridiculous. But what about the people, and I got to give well, really credit to Yahweh Shemi Shai, but my wife said something right one time that I was like, I didn't even put in too much perspective on think about that. I didn't really ponder about it too much. And she was saying, they always like to say, oh, it's because, Jake are thugs. But what about in, the slave trade and after the slaves were freed? They weren't robbing and killing and stealing then. All right. So why did you hate them then? Why did you hate them during the transatlantic slave trade when they weren't doing anything back then? And it's true, man. And again, that's the good point with a woman is to bounce things off your mind. Sometimes they can put things in different perspectives. That's what they're there for. They're not there to fucking bitch at you and yell at you and holler at you, all right, and tell you ain't shit. You and your daddy ain't shit. You come along like no. They're there to do that. Okay, a woman's a helpmate. All right, so a situation like that can put something in perspective for a man. They're essentially like an assistant, right? An assistant. Generally, in business, all right, they'll help whoever they're assisting come up with better ideas, come up with different things, bounce thoughts off them. All right, essentially be like a mood board and be like, okay, yeah, that's actually a good idea. And some things you're gonna see, I'm like, no, that's fucked up. No, we're not doing that. All right, but again, that's how it's the same. Workers and architect, they work hand in hand. All right, the architect doing so, oh, we got to do this, and the builder says, well, actually, can we do it this way? Architect looks, says, yeah, that should actually fit. Go ahead and do it that way. Right? So that's how we should be. All right. So that's why it says a righteous woman is more precious than fine rubies, and cannot be valued. Let me see. Or is this the one dealing with scripture? Let me see. Now this is I'm confusing two of them. This is the one talking about, this is she as in this truth. There's another one. A righteous woman who can find a right, her price is worth, here it is, this is the one. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. He will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. There you go. So that's the real nature of a woman. All right. So, but yeah, until she said that, I never really put those two and two together. I mean, of course, once you hear it, you're like, yeah, absolutely. What the fuck was that all about? But and then you have the KKK and all these different people with their little quote original boys in the hood. So you are the original thugs. You're the original gangsters. But they're not gonna realize it. But anyway, I've been rambling on for far too long now. It's about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that's the lesson. All right, we're gonna close out there. Lord Went was edifying. See, so the incest twins are upset. All right, they don't like what's going on. They don't like that they've been boycotted. Well, don't shoot people in the back as they're running away. Then that would be my advice for you. So that's where we're gonna close out. Lord Williams, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shemi Yahweh Shai, Shemar Kakwadash. Shalom, you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.